Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I love this.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Koob.
I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up today. You know what, Reid? You might be on to something.
All right, here's what's going on in the nest.
By Odin's beard, Mattias Ekholm will play tonight for the Edmonton Oilers as they take on the San Jose Sharks at Rogers Place. It's a 7:30 game. We will have the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 6:30 with Tom Gazola. So here's how we expect the Oilers to line up. McDavid between Jeff Skinner and Connor Brown. Good line for the Oilers last game. Henrique with Arvidsson and Hyman. Janmark with Podkolzin and Perry. Philp with Jones and Kapanen. So up front, still no Drysdale. You'll hear a bit from him a little bit later on. Nugent Hopkins, once again, not playing. Eckholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Emerson, Kulak with Stetcher. So Deneen was recalled on an emergency basis. Doesn't look like we're going to see him. And Jake Wallman out of action once again. We'll get an update from him from head coach Kris Knoblauch as we move through the afternoon as well. Stuart Skinner will dress, so he's back after missing a couple of weeks, but he will be the backup goaltender tonight to Calvin Pickard. And Kris Knoblauch will update the goaltending situation as well. A lot of Oilers storylines. Look, despite all the injuries, the primary one is they can clinch a playoff spot, win the game tonight, and all my worst case scenarios will disappear once and for all, put away with all the other sins and malcontents of the universe. I should have a Pandora's box of Wilkie's worries. Does that make sense? It could make sense.
It could.
Happy Friday afternoon. Hope everybody is doing great. I'm Reid Wilkins. He's Jason Milne. How you doing, Milne?
I am just loving life. It's Friday. The Masters is on. Scheffler's going to bang a couple birdies out here coming down the stretch. And we had some visitors today. It was nice. Big Uke decided to, declare squatters' rights at EST. And is still
true.
Here.
That's true. Here's the here's what I can tell you for tonight to keep an eye on in the Western Conference. The Oilers clinch a playoff spot if they get a point against the Sharks. So even if this one is tied after regulation, or if the Flames lose to Minnesota in any fashion. So the Oilers' magic number is 1 point. I can also tell you the Minnesota Wild clinch a playoff berth if they beat the Flames in any fashion. I love how they put in any fashion. Really, well, I guess there's three fashions. Regulation, overtime, or a shootout, though the losing team gets a point in overtime or a shootout. But it makes it sound like in any fashion. Well, what an overcoat? If they wear an overcoat? All right. That's a quick scene set for the Oilers game tonight. We got plenty to talk about. We have clips from Drysdale, from Knoblauch, from Nurse. We know San Jose's story. They are not great, but we had Randy Hahn, their play-by-play guy, on the show yesterday, and he said, even though they're going to be bad 2 years in a row, he said this year feels totally different. It doesn't feel like a death march. The team is working harder. They're more exciting. The attitude is better, and they have some young players like Celebrini, like Will Smith, who are coming along and hopefully are part of the turnaround for the Sharks. So I do not think this will be an easy out for the Oilers, but clearly they got a good chance here to finally wrap up that playoff spot, and then
the future is bright in San Jose. You could say,
yeah. I mean, there's some promise.
I mean, they're going to have the highest probability of getting the first overall pick in the entry draft. Stud defenseman, potentially in the plans.
Yeah, potentially
adding to what is already a nice young lineup in San Jose. So yeah, I think the future is bright.
So 7:30 game, again, 6:30 for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. And Tom Gazola, the host of that show, is going to join us at about 20 after 5 this afternoon. We are keeping an eye on the second round of the Masters. So Justin Rose has the lead. Are you comfortable talking about your wager?
What do you mean? It's our wager.
Oh, I'm part of this? When did my money get involved with this?
This is the golf money.
Oh, this is the community pot.
Yeah.
Well, the three of us.
The three of us.
Oh, so I'm involved in this.
You're
bet.
in.
Okay. Are we going to win?
You're in for like
because this is a bet. We don't have to wait for the end of the tournament for this one.
No, it depends on today.
Oh, okay. And what's happening?
It was Scheffler to have a share of the lead after round 2. We got on it at plus 1,800, and we just put a small wager on it as a group. But we have our Masters wagers that are also in play. It's just a little fun sprinkle.
But this one will win or lose today. The other ones, well, we could lose some today.
You could lose your Freddie Couples one today.
What I had Freddie Couples to finish in the top 40.
Yeah.
He is. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's plus 3 right now.
Come back to me, Freddie.
He's plus 3 through 16, so he needs to birdie.
One of the final 2 holes. And Scheffler needs to play the final 6 holes in 3 under, which is possible. He has the par 5s coming up. Oh, Mickelson's in the creek on 13. Well, that's harmful for him because he's in position to make the cut.
He's plus 1. The cut is now projected at plus 2.
Right. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on the Masters. It's been fun watching that out in the green room, in the common area, in the bullpen at EST, and also here on the ESTV that we have set up in the studio. Hope everybody is having a great afternoon. We encourage you to reach out to us if you are inclined to do so. First of all, email, if you use that old-fashioned form of communication, Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Reid is R-E-I-D, J at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. I just got a limerick from Bronco Nick sent in. I wonder if the Big Uke's going to do a limerick, like he's here.
Well, that's what Caster 1990 suggested in the Nasty Chat. Is he going to do a live reading? I think we must have
I guess he could write one and come in and read it, or sit with Uke and read it, or sit with
Koob
and read it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see if we get that. If you would like to text the show, it is 780-218-9999. The afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant, all-you-can-eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday. That is from 4 to 10 p.m. And you can chat with us and with each other on the YouTube chat feature. We call it the Nasty Chat, but you don't have to be nasty to be in there. And if you are taking us in on YouTube, remember, please click the thumbs up button.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
I'm almost bang on that now.
Yeah, you've actually memorized it, which is both flattering and alarming.
And we sound similar in that voice.
I suppose we do.
You must. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
Or you've just heard it so much, now you can copy it without even thinking about it.
I guess, yeah.
I would like to wish a very special happy birthday to a very special colleague here at Edmonton Sports Talk, Jasmine. Oh, happy birthday, Jasmine.
Round of clicks.
I believe she has been celebrating this birthday since February 13th. And it goes on until about mid-June. Then it's like, okay, that's enough. I've celebrated my birthday for the year.
Yes.
That's all right.
Martin says, this wager better not cut into Reid's Popeyes budget. I think it's totally separate of that.
Yeah, it is separate from that. So what did we do?
It could add to it.
What did we actually do? We each put in $25.
This was at the start of the year. We each put in 50.
Did we?
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm so cheap. I'm surprised I did that. I'm surprised I didn't try to talk you guys down. What if we just all put in 10, guys?
And we were supposed to be doing every weekend. We'd bet on a golfer.
And that lasted about 3 weeks.
That lasted 2 weeks. And now we're just trying to get it all back with the Masters. And it's looking okay.
It's more fun to bet on the majors.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So we each put forward a series of bets.
Yes.
But we all win or lose collectively.
Yes, it's a group effort.
And some of the bets, if we win one or two of them, couples. Oh, come on, Freddie. So one of the ones I put forward was couples in the top 40. Now the top 50 plus ties make the cut. So if you make the cut, you got a good chance of being in the top 40. Right now, he's just outside, and that's a larger win wager if we were to get that one. You know how you and I both like language and proper communication? What was the stat about So you said this to us earlier. He says, Freddie Couples, it's 42 years between rounds under par for Freddie Couples. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, he won in 92 and he's shot under par and made the cut in the last few years. And Yuke's like, I'll show you the tweet. And that was the tweet. It said it's been 42 years between rounds under par for Freddie Couples. The way I read that, and I think most people would understand it, is that he hasn't shot a round under par in the Masters in 42 years.
Yes.
Like if I went golfing and got a birdie, I would say it's my first birdie since 2022 or whenever I last got a birdie. But then we realized what they meant was his first round under par was 42 years ago. And then he shot a round under par yesterday. So what they're trying to say is 42 years later, he's still good enough and he's been playing in the Masters long enough to shoot under par, but it was a really weird way to word it.
Very
like, is that
misleading.
even a record?
Yes.
Like, it's not years between rounds under par. It's 42 years after his first round under par, he's still shooting under par.
You could have just said this is his 42nd Masters. I think it's fair to assume that he's been under par.
I think, if you've been on the Masters 42 times, you probably have won it.
It obviously has won.
Anyway, it was a weird way to put it. Corey Connors, the Canadian, by the way, 6 under par, teeing off on the par 3 16th. So he's just 2 off the lead. Rose still has the lead at 8 under. Pretty good tee shot for Connors. He'll have about a medium length putt from the fringe for birdie. Cool to have Canadian. What do you remember about Mike Weir winning it? Were you watching at that age?
Yeah, I wasn't into golf, but it certainly was a story. I mean, that was because Mike Weir was really not a contender week to week on the PGA Tour. It just kind of came out of nowhere.
We had a good, I think in 03, was that the year, I think he was also top 10 at 2 other majors and made the cut in the other one. I think that was his best. I'll look him up quickly here because his Wikipedia page, they have the summary of how he did in every major. So, how about this? In 2003, Mike Weir won the Masters, was tied for 3rd at the U.S. Open, was tied for 28th at the British Open, or the Open Championship, as some call it, and tied for 7th at the PGA. And then even in 04, he missed the cut at the Masters, but then he tied 4th U.S. Open, tied 9th at the Open Championship, and then was cut at the PGA. He had a good little burst there, tied 5th at the Masters in 2005. And now he gets to play in the Masters as long as he wants. Well, I guess they got to step away now at 65, don't they? Or they're encouraged to.
I think so, yeah. I think they're like, this is Bernard Longer's last.
Right, because he's 65, right?
Yeah.
And he might make the cut. He's got a chance.
He's got to up and down here for a par to stay at +2.
Oh, is that where he's at? Is he on 17 or 18?
18.
He's on 18. Okay. It is cool, though, that at golf, like Mickelson won the PGA at 50.
Yeah.
Tom Watson in his 60s went to a playoff at the Open Championship. And someone said to me once that they think that actually diminishes the sport, that you can be an older player and still, beat a 27-year-old. And I was like, I don't think that at all. I think that proves.
I think it adds to it.
I think it adds to it that, you can still be great enough, in a field of 120 or 140, whatever they start with, that you could still rise up and win and be competitive. I think the longevity is a mark of what a great sport it is. Not that's like, a 50-year-old would never win in hockey. Okay, well, it's different though. Is this long? Oh, he did not. That was not an accurate approach shot.
He's not doing him any favors.
He's had to ask the gallery to move for his chip onto the 18th green. Anyway, it is an Oilers game day. We have plenty of Oilers stuff ahead. We have injury updates. We have discussion about the goaltending usage over the final 4 games of the regular season. And, of course, the Oilers need just a point to clinch a playoff spot tonight. It is a game day. So we have the Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game. Oh, I love doing this. The mystery athlete of the game presented by Hudson's Canada's Pub. You're invited down tonight for the Oilers game. You can join them Fridays and Saturdays after 9 p.m. for late night happy hour specials. Food starting at $4. Drinks from $3.75. Book your reservation now at hudsonscanaspub.com. So you must text in your guesses to the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. Maximum 3 guesses per person. If you have won the mystery athlete in the last 2 weeks, we ask you to step aside.
Gentleman's agreement.
Yeah, gentleman's agreement. Jay can kind of check it, but people have been great about this.
Yeah, Corey B was into it.
Corey B, he won a couple weeks ago.
He's out of
eligible
probation
again.
today.
Yeah. Just to make it, because some people are really good at it. So just to have a little variety. And quite frankly, we love our regulars. We love the people in the Nasty Club. We love when people are sharp enough to win repeatedly. But we also love getting new people into the fold and having them win some stuff too. So you must text in your guesses, maximum 3 per person. The first clue is Germany. First clue is Germany. Somebody has yelled out David Beckham from, it's Big Uke because he usually puts David Beckham in the nasty chat. First clue is Germany. I'm not saying anything else about it, okay? First clue, Germany. Hudson's Canada's Pub, mystery athlete of the game. Anybody win yet? That would be fast. That would be alarming if somebody won in 4 seconds.
That would be bad.
Speaking of German players, Leon Drysdale not going to play tonight. Was on the ice for the morning skate. Asked the very simple question, how's he doing?
Yeah, I feel all right. Obviously not good enough yet to, get into games. And this time of year, I want to be taking the right steps and, feeling as good to 100% as I can. So, it's improving slowly, but hopefully it won't be that much longer.
All right, so I think a lot of these players will play. Well, Eckholm's back, but David's already come back. We'll get some more information on Frederick. We'll tell you more on Skinner, who is going to be the backup goaltender tonight. So the Oilers hopefully getting a little healthier and a little more to a full complement of players as they get ready for that likely playoff series against the Los Angeles Kings. Our off-topic topic is related to the Masters. Jay, I'll let you set this one up after I do the read here for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com. Give them a shout, 780-454-4536.
Well, I mean, we talked about it a bit yesterday, and we decided at that point this would probably be a good topic. It'll open some discussion, but a rule addition or change to the game of golf. It can be as silly or as, I guess, intense or real as you want it to be. As I alluded to yesterday, I think it would be fun if one time per round, you had the opportunity to pick up your ball from, place your feet where the ball is, pick it up, and you can underhand throw it, not overhand. It must be underhand, below the waist, to try get it onto the green for maybe a tricky lie or something like that. That would be a little bit of an off-the-wall one. Obviously, it wouldn't stick. One that I think would, for those that are avid golfers, they've had this situation come up, and I would like to see this changed, where you smoke a drive, a 250 right down the center. You're 120 yards into the green. Perfect. You did your job.
Right.
You roll up on your ball, and guess where it sits? Well, it sits in the beaver tail excavation that was somebody else's approach shot. It sits in a divot. I would like to see you be able to pick that ball up and place it somewhere, closer to the hole, obviously, but adjacent, where you would have a fresh piece of fairway. Because often those holes are also filled with a grass sand mixture,
right?
Which is like hitting, it just changes your ability to make a shot. And as the rules are, you would not be able to do that. So
I'm not shaking my head at you. I'm shaking my head at Will Zalatoris.
I get that. I didn't think you were. That's your guy. Well, he's not going to make the
almost in last place. We will not win money on the bet I put on him.
So if you're a golfer, if you're not, it really, I mean, everybody knows the game of golf. I asked my wife this. She said, well, I think you should have a mulligan on each 9.
Even at the pro level?
Why not?
Can you imagine that?
You know, you have the breakfast ball usually on the first tee box.
Yes.
Right? Oh, okay, just getting warmed up. You get another shot. But one of those per 9. I think it's fine.
This is a fun one. And, I mean, golf's an interesting sport because I hope that the average player does not play with the rules that the PGA player. And even I say this about myself, and I'm pretty, as I've told this story in there, like I score pretty honestly. You know, like I take a penalty shot. If I have to drop, I try to drop as accurately as possible. But I'm glad golf came out and formally changed the rules. You know, for like you can, if you accidentally tap the ball with your putter, you can replace it.
The double tap rule.
You know, and if I'm golfing with somebody and he grounds his club in the sand, I don't care. Like I get why they have these rules for the PGA, but they've even loosened up some of those. Like now you can leave the flag in when you putt and all that kind of stuff. I asked, I can't remember if it was Murray that was on my show with my other show a few years ago or somebody else, but I said, what's the one thing that the everyday golfer does that they're kind of constantly breaking a rule and maybe helping their score? And
you got to give us a live limerick.
Said,
right? A limerick. We'll do it after the break.
And he said, well, putting out. And that's a good point. How many people actually putt out? And then even if it's a 3-footer, you might miss one or two of those. And a lot of times, the longer the putt, if you're golfing with buddies, the more leeway they will give you on a leeway. Like I remember once I probably had like a 50-foot putt.
Yeah.
And I rolled it up and it was pretty tight. And there was, you know, that split second where I was thinking that might go in. And it rolled to kind of maybe knee knocker range. And my buddy went up to it and said, I'm not going to give you a chance to miss that one. You got your par.
Oh.
Or maybe my bogey, because I'm not very good. I don't know if I had a long putt for birdie or bogey. So, you know, it was to a distance where now if it's 6 inches away, you know, sitting on the lip, I get it. Don't waste time tapping it in. But that's something people can tell us, like, do you putt out every single?
No.
And what's your range? Putter range, 1 foot, 2 foot?
Nobody really, I don't think many people do, especially if you're in a group.
Busy day.
You know, you want to keep things going, but I'm always of the rule, okay, if let's say we're golfing and you step up and you make a 2-footer, right? Confidently.
Yeah.
And like, no big deal. I got those in my back pocket all day. I'm not going to make you putt that for the rest of the day.
If I've established I'm not a klutz.
If I've witnessed that you can make that putt with confidence, I'm not going to ask you to putt it every time.
Right.
Or if the hole's already gone, if you're playing in a match and it's partner versus partner.
Oh, yeah, of course.
See you later. On to the next tee box. This one came in from Martin. Golf is incredibly slow and boring to watch. Speed the game up and put in a shot clock. I'm tired of a guy looking at his shot for what seems like 5 minutes.
I get that, but I also think that they kind of have to, in a tournament like this, they do have to keep pace with the group ahead of them. And then when it's down to the final pairing in a major and there's a lot of drama, I don't mind if it goes a little bit longer. Is this Justin Thomas?
Yeah, into
the creek in front of the 13th green, so he'll have to drop. I'll give mine as we move along throughout. I think mine though might not apply to the pros. It might apply more to the you and me of the world, golfing at Riverside or the ranch or the quarry or wherever. But I'll give it as we move along.
Sure.
All right, 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. We have the Oil Understood coming up. Jed Roberts and Tom Gazola are our guests today. The incomparable Zachary Kubusch.
Mattias Ekholm slots back in for the Oilers against the Sharks. Stuart Skinner will be the backup to Calvin Pickard with Jake Wallman and Leon Drysdale day to day. No Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. tonight as well. Tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 6:30 as Tom Gazola teases up the action right here on EST. There's 4 other games on tap. Montreal looking to clinch the final playoff spot in the East with a win over the Senators in regulation. Minnesota can also clinch with a win over the Flames, while the Red Wings battle the Lightning and the Pens meet the Devils. Meanwhile, Avs captain Gabriel Landeskog is set to play his first hockey game since 2022. He'll dress for the Eagles in the AHL to kick off a conditioning stint for the Avalanche. At the Masters, Justin Rose holds top spot at 8 under par at the end of his day, while Corey Connors is tied for third at 6 under through 15 holes. In baseball, the Jays-Orioles opener has been postponed due to weather conditions. That one was rescheduled for the end of July, booking a doubleheader for the two teams. On the court, Toronto visits Dallas, 15 games in the association. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood, Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they got plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood, Leduc. More with J. Milne and Reid Wilkins once we get back from break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
2 guys and a goalie.
Great observation with Nurse on that scrum. I was actually surprised at how fast the D got in there. The second Bennington threw that punch, they were flying in. They were just, there was no hesitation, and I love that. Like, there's a penalty lane. Yeah, the face-off might come outside the zone, but you sense danger, and it's just go. And that was great. Testament to Nurse's game, and it was one of my favorite Darnell Nurse's played.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Spin to win Fridays at the Banquet. Every Friday, spin the wheel for a chance to win big and save on your bill. It's that easy. Spin, win, and save. Don't miss out. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Why did you leave me so fast? You never gave me a helping chance. Just fall out. Stay with
Jason Milne on the lead vocals. This is Fallout, right?
Yeah.
That's your hit single. Well, I heard the word Fallout. And then Mission Impossible stole it as a movie title.
Yeah.
What is that? Where's that coming from?
That was for me.
Koob keeps adding stuff to his soundboard. I like that.
Koob's game is on the rise.
Koob out of control. Got a limerick here from Bronco Nick. He's become quite a prolific limerick writer himself. Oilers are playing the Sharks tonight. Hopefully we see McDavid take flight. Sharks are chum. Pour me a rum and bottle service for Jasmine, right?
Nice.
That is a good one. That's really good, Bronco Nick.
Well, we had one coming from Dudley as well. Tonight, the Sharks sail into the cold, where tales of Thorsmen are told. With beard full of might, Eckholm joins the fight. Will he plunder or just break the mold?
Oh, that's good.
Well
That's
done,
good.
Dudley.
Good to have Eckholm back, head coach Kris Knoblauch, touching a little bit on the impact of his return.
Well, a guy that can eat up minutes playing against other teams' top lines, but also a guy that's our forwards, especially our skilled forwards, like to be on the ice with, because he can transport the puck really nice. So, the role that Eki has it's immense. Like, he does so much for our team, and also second unit power play, and just use them all situations. But I think the biggest one would be just being able to transport that puck and playing against other teams' top lines, because he is a good defender.
All right. So good to have Eckholm back. And you need him healthy, as the Oilers are hopefully gearing up for another long playoff run. If you're watching us on YouTube, first of all, thank you however you are consuming us. The iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn Radio app, through our website, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Maybe you're listening to us via podcast at a later date or later on Friday. And if you're in YouTube, we thank you. There's the video element as well. And you can give us a little thumbs up. Let's go today. We're going. It was it was a slow thumb day yesterday. Great start today.
Yeah,
but let's keep building. Don't slow down. Keep the momentum building for the Oilers game tonight, for the weekend, for the Masters weekend, whatever you're going to do. Did I say momentum?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes
momentum.
I really don't know what I'm saying half the time.
That's okay.
Which is okay. Okay. I have a. It's not a what. Well, it's a bit of a what if. I want to present an idea to you, Jason Milne.
Oh, I am excited.
So, what have we seen here from the Oilers? Basically, the story of about the last 3 weeks is not just that they haven't been healthy, but the caliber of the players who have missed chunks of games. So, McDavid, obviously, Drysdale. Then he came back. Now he's out again. Clearly, Eckholm. And then I know Frederick's not a star player, but we've seen him in one game since he was acquired at the trade deadline. Kind of in a worst case scenario with him, and we'll have an update from Kris Knoblauch on him in a few minutes. Nugent Hopkins now missing another game. This is Stuart Skinner, one of your goaltenders, missing a couple weeks here. And we haven't, and you don't often do in hockey, which is perhaps another thing we can dive into.
I guess Wallman's got to be on that list.
Oh, now Wallman's missing his second consecutive game. He's he's one of the Oilers' top 4 defensemen, right?
Yep.
So that's been a story for the Oilers. Now, in most of these cases, then again, a couple cases we've seen the play on which the person got injured. McDavid against the Jets, Stuart Skinner. But in none of these scenarios has it been like, that's a broken leg.
Yeah.
Or, his arm got torn out of its socket. Like where what it is, and the coach or GM comes out and says, he obviously broke his leg. It's 2 to 3, whatever. Like, it's always been like, he's injured, but, he's day to day, or we're hoping for this day. Or in some cases, Knoblauch has flat out said, if this was the playoffs right now, this person would be playing, or would probably be playing. So,
he said that about Eckholm and McDavid.
Right. So here's what I'm saying to you. And I don't think that Kris Knoblauch or Stan Bowman or Jeff Jackson, or any of the players for that matter, but usually it would come from a coach or GM. I don't know if they would ever explicitly say this, especially in season, maybe in the off season, or maybe when one of them writes their memoirs in a decade. But do you think that behind the scenes, in their war room or whatever, and I've said how off to the side of the dressing room, there's a room that has a big table. People have probably seen it in some of the behind the scenes footage. Big table shaped like a hockey rink. That's where the coaches and GMs will usually be sitting after a game. That's probably where they have their meetings, right? If you're Stan Bowman and or Jeff Jackson, and McDavid's a little banged up and Drysdale's a little banged up, do you think it had to be openly discussed, honestly discussed? All right, we went to the Cup final last year. Took a lot of the players. We had to hurt guys, Nurse and Drysdale specifically, playing in the Cup final. We would love to win the division in the regular season. We would love to have home ice in the first round if we can't win the division. How bad do you want that versus how bad do you want your players as healthy as possible? Do you think the Oilers had that internal discussion at a coach and management level? And do you think it was decided, let's err on the side of health? We're good enough to win if we don't have home ice advantage in any round, but let's err on the side of health. Do you think that conversation probably happened?
I don't even think that's yes, 100%. I think it would be harder to make the case that it didn't. given what, the Oilers have been icing for a team. This has been, the Oilers have been pretty secure in where they are. The only thing they could, it was a worst case scenario. Calgary maybe pushes them, but that doesn't look very, very, very unlikely. Best case scenario is they catch LA and they get home ice advantage for round one. That also doesn't look like it's happening, and it hasn't looked that way for a while. So what's been a theme of this show through guests and through discussion is health over hot, right? So yeah, I mean the first day that McDavid, the day after that injury against Winnipeg, yeah, he could play if this was a playoff game. That's when that was done,
right?
And I don't know. My question is who initiates that conversation?
Probably the GM.
Is that Stan Bowman?
I would think the GM
coming
would
down
have
to
to initiate that. Yeah.
That table and saying, okay, guys, here's what we have to look at this from a 10-mile view.
Do you believe that obviously they're a playoff team, but basically Stan Bowman has to say, okay, there's how many games when McDavid got hurt? 14 left or something like that? Like Stan Bowman has to say, okay, do we go 0-14 and miss the playoffs without McDavid or Drysdale? Which I've put forward as a concern. But, and if Knoblauch says no, then it's like, okay, like if we can putter around and get points, then we're going to sit these guys out or tell them, or I guess you have to have the player in on the plan a little bit. But we've kind of touched on this though, but it seems to me this has really been a conscious maneuver here by the Oilers. So I guess we're not going to know if it's the right move or not until we see how they do in the playoffs. And I know a lot of the discussion has been finish as high as you can. God, we'd love another Game 7. Like even though they won a Game 7 in Vancouver, I think it's just the feeling of let's have home ice as long as possible. It seems now, stared in the face of sacrificing that the Oilers, again at a coach and management level, have been willing to say, hey, we're going to likely sacrifice that because we've decided health is better than seeding.
And I think, Reid, I don't think that this was, oh, don't worry, home ice doesn't matter because we're going to win this series in 6 or 5 or of course they would like that. But what's more important? They learned last year.
They weighed what they'd sooner have.
Right? Drysdale was banged up.
Do we want to blow guys out going for first, which already was becoming unattainable? And do we want to blow guys out going for second and then maybe having nothing left?
Drysdale didn't score a goal in the Stanley Cup Finals last year.
Correct. Yeah, he had a.
Can you imagine thinking that right now if the Oilers go into round 1 against the Kings and Drysdale is held goalless? That's not good.
And he's held goalless because you didn't.
Because he's
let him. Yeah, right.
So that's all you need to know. And that conversation 100% happened, and it should. It probably happens a lot more around the league than you would think. Like when does Winnipeg or when does Washington start, saying, okay, you're done. Right. You're on the shelf till the playoffs start.
Yeah.
But no, I absolutely agree and think that was a conversation that was had. And that's proper management. Like say all you want about Stan Bowman and, the acquisitions that have been made. Klingberg is now on the LTIR.
All fair questions.
Frederick. And yeah, it is very, very fair. They could have used the Klingberg money elsewhere. That was a mistake. But it was a flyer, and you saw what happened the day that signing came across the wire. I mean, Oilers fans were excited. What if? Well, it failed. I even said, what if? Okay, so he's going to have that dark cloud hanging over his head. This is something that maybe you could look back and say, remember that. Remember when, there were 7 guys out of the lineup that, by all account, could play tonight. Now, there's not 7 out tonight, but at the worst of it, your 7, and you could almost argue your 7 best players were out of the lineup. So, and credit to the rest of the team that has held on and been able to stay in that fight and not, made Oilers fans go into a tizzy thinking that the Flames were going to catch them and get themselves in a tough situation. Now it seems like they're in a bit of control, and this was the right decision.
Yeah. Well, we had that person write in yesterday saying that we haven't really seen the Oilers A game. And part of that recently is because we haven't seen their A lineup. And that's why I know people kind of give me a hard time whenever when I was giving my worst case scenario for the Oilers getting passed by Calgary. But I'll throw this out for you. I mean, what if the playoffs start and we see the first couple games against LA and we're like, oh yeah, I forgot about how good they are when they're healthy and they're cranked up and they're playing in the playoffs and that they've been there before and they've beaten, like, that's possible.
Somebody said yesterday, it's their A game and when they're healthy. If both those things happen, this team's a juggernaut. This team is hard to beat. So yeah, there's a chance you could see that, or there's a chance there will be rust too. I mean, I think that's why they wanted to get McDavid back and get him skating. I mean, I don't know how long you could have kept him down, but even for Eckholm, you can't just take him and say, okay, we're going to hold you out to the playoffs and expect, regular season Eckholm to show up game one.
Right. So anyway,
this one, Reid, I must say, when I heard that Eckholm was going to be drawing into the lineup tonight,
yeah,
that I would imagine for Oilers fans, that was a collective sigh of relief, because that was the one injury that there was really nothing about.
Yeah, it was just kind of like
it was an illness that turned into an injury that made, and that was, when is Eckholm going to be able to go?
Yeah, and at his age, even though, I mean, he's obviously in incredible shape and is very tough, you still worry like, okay, is this just something that he needs a full summer of sleep? And
I mean, Oilers fans have been down that road.
Yeah,
that's happened.
Okay, we'll get to some clips from Kris Knoblauch, get an update on Trent Frederic, talk a little more about the goaltending. Continue to hammer that thumbs up on YouTube. Don't delay. Let's see how high we can fly early in the show. That's the challenge for everybody out there today. You can text 780-218-9999. River Crew Resort and Casino inbox. The Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game. The first clue was Germany. I'll give the second clue around 4 o'clock. We have the Oil Understood coming up for GCL Diesel. Here comes the Koob.
With a Flames loss to the Wild tonight, or if the Oilers get a point against the Sharks, Edmonton will clinch another playoff berth. Stuart Skinner returns to the bench as a backup to Calvin Pickard in that one. Mattias Ekholm slots back in as well, with no Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Jake Wallman, or Leon Drysdale for the game. Tom Gazola goes live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show to preview the action right here on EST. Tune in an hour before puck drop here at 6:30. Other teams are looking to clinch. Canadians, if they beat the Sens in regulation, will make it back to the playoffs, and Minnesota will clinch if they beat the Flames in any fashion. On the links, Canadian Corey Connors is tied at third place at 6 under through 16 holes played, sitting 2 points back from Justin Rose, who holds top spot from the clubhouse. 15 games around the MLB, and the Jays Orioles opener was postponed due to inclement weather. That one's been pushed back to the end of July, booking the teams a doubleheader. Basketball sees 15 games, including the Raptors challenging the Mavericks. And for the 76ers, Joel Embiid has undergone arthroscopic surgery on his left knee and will be reevaluated in 6 weeks. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine. And if your back hurts more than your pride after triple bogey, it's time for an assessment at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your appointment today at 780-460-9977 or visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca. The Oil Understood for GCL Diesel brings us back here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Do you have pets? Horses, chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or visit them online at cloverbarfeeds.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Must you click? Click. Must you click?
Yes, there is the Click remix, courtesy Zachary Kubusch, as we encourage you to click that thumbs up button on YouTube. Give us instant gratification. And also build the algorithm to suggest the station and the program to more and more people on the YouTube stream. Also, thank you if you're tuning in through iHeartRadio or TuneIn Radio. We love you, no matter what. We got a limerick here from the Big Uke, who was on the Hangout today, and also hung out at the station for a while after. What a day for Uke spent at HQ in the dunk video, honor reserved for few. Spent many an hour, couple beer did devour. These EST guys are damn good at what they do.
Wow.
Very touching.
We had another visitor to the office today. Friedel came in, and we challenged him, as we often do to listeners that come in, to pick up a prize.
Yeah.
Challenge him to a limerick.
Get involved. Have some fun.
So Friedel sent one in. Today I came down to the station to get my text of the day burger ovation. Jay asked if I'd sent a limerick. I told Reid I wasn't yet into it. So consider this my remediation. Friedel.
All right. Pretty good try. Yeah. Pacing and syllables per line we'll need some work. But I liked the rhyming.
Yeah. Limerick with India.
The idea. Yeah. I like the rhyming.
That's good.
Yeah. I think there's some potential there. That's like a Noah Philp type of limerick.
Yeah, a lot of hope.
You know, working
big
hard.
Body. It's a big body. Likes to bang in the corners. Skates well.
There we go.
Something to work with there.
So, something to work with, which is good. Yeah, we love getting limericks from people. Absolutely. All right.
A couple people before you hop in there, just on our last segment, we were talking about the injuries and whether it was an order, executive order to hold people off from getting back on the ice. Timber Winsman said end of the season interviews, they all talked about trying to have more energy left for Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals.
Right.
And that's been, people have been mentioning that in the nasty chat as well. So yeah, I think the right decision was made.
Let's go into the oil understood for GCL Diesel. Providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel! Understood. As Scotty Scheffler makes a birdie on 14. Is he back to 6 under?
6 under.
So he's got to play the final 4 holes in 2 under, and you, me, and Awanak win money.
We went
from 3 of the 4 people in this station right now. Sorry, Koob.
Maybe we'll.
Koob's not invested in our little scheme.
We went from having a chip in a chair to doubling up. We're in the mix.
All right, Oilers Sharks tonight at Rogers Place, 7:30 game. We'll have the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 6:30 with Tom Gazola. So Nugent Hopkins not back tonight. Wallman is going to miss another game. Eckholm does return. That's pretty big. Stuart Skinner back in the lineup, though he will be the backup goaltender tonight to Calvin Pickard. Darnell Nurse with some thoughts on Pickard.
He's been amazing for us all year. I think, especially as of late, some of the games and some of the moments that he's had for us, and you look to St. Louis and some of the saves he made to keep us in the game and keep us in position to be whether tied or in leads at important moments. He's been so good for us all year long, and on not just his competing games, but practice and the work ethic he brings, the mindset he brings each and every day. We have a ton of confidence in him, and love playing for him too.
All right, so Stuart Skinner again back from his injury, and he'll be the backup goaltender tonight. Here's Kris Knoblauch.
He is cleared. He could play. He could be our starting goalie tonight, but with the amount of time that we've had for practice, just being cleared. He's had a couple pregame skates. We feel give him a little longer time. And then this, when we play in the back-to-back, he'll definitely be playing one of those back-to-backs.
All right, so they have Winnipeg in Winnipeg on Sunday, home to the LA Kings on Monday, and then the last game of the regular season is in San Jose on Wednesday, and Knoblauch saying Skinner will get 2 of those 3 games. Here's another thing I'll throw at you. I mean, first of all, he could play today. So that logically dictates he'll play the next game, which is in Winnipeg.
I said to you, if he could play today, he should be playing today. In my opinion, if you're trying to see where he's at after coming out of this injury.
You'd give him 3 of the 4 games?
Well, is he your starting goaltender? Then yeah. I mean, if this is the goalie that's going to take you through the playoffs, he should be in the net tonight. That makes it fair, at least to me, my opinion, okay? That makes it sound like to me that they don't know who's going to be their number 1 going into the playoffs. Is that fair, or am I out to lunch? Am I in left field?
No, but I mean, they wanted to play 2 of the final 3 games. I see what you're saying. If he's cleared to play and he's going to dress, why can't he just go in and be the goaltender tonight against the last place team in the league? But I'm wondering this as well. And I am not basing this on anything other than my own speculation. And maybe I'm going overboard here. I'll be the first to admit that. Do you think the Oilers don't want to start Skinner at home right now? Because they probably know. I mean, look, Skinner knows that his last couple months haven't been great, and then plus he got hurt. He hasn't looked, and you can't know how a player feels, but he hasn't looked as confident as Pickard, and he hasn't looked as confident as a good Stuart Skinner, such as most of last season, and even that run this year where the Oilers went, 22-6-1 or whatever it was, and he was playing well. He hasn't looked that good. I'm sure they know what the temperature is with the fan base to at least some extent. Do you think that maybe they don't want to play Skinner at Rogers Place in case it goes south for him, and then he has how bad he feels for himself and how bad his teammates feel on top of that, that murmur, that weird vibe in the building when a player, specifically a goaltender, is having an off night? Like if Skinner starts tonight and he lets in 2 of the first 5 shots in the first 10 minutes of the game, and there's just that, oh no, sense in the building. Do you think the Oilers might prefer to have him get his final 2 starts of the regular season on the road?
Are you suggesting that they're protecting him from coming out against a lowly Sharks team and going down 1-0?
Maybe.
And the reaction and the atmosphere at Rogers Place?
Maybe.
I think that you might have a valid point. But, and I see Maddie's chimed in on the Nasty chat here, and I agree. If you're worried about playing him at home, how could you feel about that good about playing him in the playoffs?
Well, these aren't the playoffs yet. I understand that question. I
know, but that just doesn't exude. And what you're saying is not factual. We don't know that for fact.
No, I'm speculating.
You're speculating, purely speculating. So if you're going to speculate, then I'm going to speculate also that if that is the case, then this organization does not have that much faith in his overall game right now.
Well, yeah, I think they want to see how he does. Like,
That might be easier.
I don't know who's going to start game one of the playoffs. I stand by what I said earlier this week, that if Skinner plays 2 games and is good, he will start game one of the playoffs.
Yep.
Which is only game one. Doesn't mean he's the starter all the way through. And quite frankly, if Pickard were to start game one, doesn't mean he's the starter all the way through. Sometimes we put too much importance on the first on opening night.
Hellebuck starts game one and lays an egg.
Right.
Or lays 2 games in a row. Comrie could come in.
Yeah, you never know.
That's just the way it goes.
But, right now, I don't think we know who is going to start game one. I still think it's Skinner's job to lose. I'm just wondering if they're thinking, let's, put him in on the road. Now, against Winnipeg, that's not easy.
Well, who knows who's going to be in Winnipeg's lineup?
Yeah, true.
Right? I mean, everybody should be gearing down at this point anyhow. I when you said that, I thought, huh. But the more and more I'm thinking about it, there might be some validity to that. At least that thought process. Right? Because as you said, everybody has that undertone about Skinner.
Right.
About Stuart Skinner. Is he the guy?
But he might even be having his own thoughts about that right now. It doesn't mean he's going to be like that the rest of this year or the rest of his career. And to your question of, well, if he's healthy, why not play him in the first game he's back? Maybe that's the exact answer. Let's not play him the first game he's back. Let's get him back in uniform. He's back on the bench, yada, 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 and then he plays the next game.
And he's more emotional of a goaltender than Calvin Pickard. So yeah, maybe you're wanting to protect that a bit.
All right.
Hot take, Reid.
Well, I don't know. It's just a thought. It's just a thought that I had. Here is Kris Knoblauch asked about Trent Frederic. Are the start of the playoffs in jeopardy for Frederick?
Maybe game one, but I definitely know he's going to be coming back at some point during this during the series. We hope to get him in game one. Maybe it's game two, but that's kind of the timeline we're looking at.
So Trent Frederic may not be ready for game one of the playoffs.
Look,
but probably plays game two. That's what he's saying.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I've come to start to feel a little bit, maybe not bad is the word, but I feel like awkward for Coach Knoblauch. Every time he has to answer a question about an injured player, it is scrutinized to the fullest extent because it's been, and I'm not saying he knows and he's trying to play the game and not, I honestly just don't think, like a lot of these injuries, like you said, Reid, what were they? It wasn't a broken leg. It wasn't a broken wrist. These are things that different bodies heal faster than others, and you really don't know. I feel like his handlers or whoever's giving him advice should just say, don't know. TBD, bro.
Well, I mean, he could say...
He doesn't have to say anything.
Some coaches have said in the past, I don't talk about injuries.
Yeah.
Sorry, no update.
I think he might have to learn to do that.
Or some coaches have said, I will not talk about a player's health until he starts practicing. Then I'll start giving timelines. But having said that, though, with Frederick, Knoblauch actually was quite honest. Because remember, before Frederick played...
He said it was the worst case scenario.
He said the worst case scenario was that he would only play 4 or 5 games before the playoffs. And then he came back just before that and got hurt again. So now Knoblauch, aggravated again. So now Knoblauch is actually talking about not the original timeline. Now we're into a second timeline. Sounds like a time travel show. So, he actually has been fairly honest about Frederick. But some coaches don't talk about injuries at all. The hockey culture, and I've been around it. I mean, even junior B coaches wouldn't talk about, like, hockey's the one. Don't say what's wrong with the guy. Oh, don't say you got a shoulder injury because then someone's going to try to body check you. Well, I guess they're probably going to try to body check you anyway, even if you don't have an injured shoulder. But that's the word with Frederick now. So based on what Knoblauch said today, game 2 of the first round at the latest for Frederick.
Fair enough.
All right. More clips coming up as we bring you the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel. The second clue in the Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game. Again, you must text your guesses to the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. The second clue is 1993. First clue was Germany. Second clue, 1993. Maximum 3 guesses per person. Jay is keeping an eye on things. Keep hitting that thumbs up on YouTube. We're pretty close to 100. Let's rally and get there in the next few minutes.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
Jed Roberts and Tom Gazola still ahead. We're going to have buying or selling for Damon Bunting. It's the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
The Lock Shop.
I love the Masters. It's visually the most incredible broadcast. The tournament's amazing. But the one thing I have always hated about golf is the stuffy country club nature of the game. I hate a lot of the rules. Some people will call it tradition. But even I, having those takes, cannot believe this guy decided to piss in Race Creek.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman B. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you gotta do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your bad game. Play more tables and games.
PlayMoreGames.ca.
Mattias Ekholm slots back in for the Oilers as they look to clinch against the Sharks. Stuart Skinner returns as a backup to Calvin Pickard, while Jake Wallman, Leon Drysdale, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins remain out of the lineup. Tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 6:30 as Tom Gazola tees up the action right here on EST. And there's 4 other games on tap. Montreal has a chance to clinch the final playoff spot in the East with a win over the Senators in regulation. Minnesota can also clinch if they beat the Flames in any fashion. The Red Wings then go on to play the Lightning, and the Pens meet the Devils on a 4-game slate. Meanwhile, the Avs captain Gabriel Landeskog will be suiting up in his first hockey game since 2022, dressing in the AHL with the Eagles to kick off a conditioning stint for the Avalanche. At the Masters, Justin Rose holds top spot at 8 under par at the end of round 2, while Corey Connors, the Canadian, is tied at third, 6 under par through 18 holes. In baseball, the Jays-Orioles opener has been postponed due to weather conditions. That one has been rescheduled for July 29th, booking a doubleheader for the two teams. On the court, Toronto visits Dallas, and for the 49ers, Joel Embiid has undergone arthroscopic surgery on his left knee and will be reevaluated in 6 weeks. I'm Zachary Kubusch. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
All right, hope you're having a great Friday afternoon. Oilers game day, 7:30 tilt against the San Jose Sharks. Oilers need a point to clinch a playoff spot or a point that Calgary doesn't get against Minnesota. And then the Oilers are in the postseason for the 6th consecutive season, which would be nice. Along with Jason Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins, Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. We are with you until 6. Tom Gazola takes over with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 6:30. I believe I'm doing my post-game hit from Tom's home studio.
Yes.
For the first time ever. I mean, I've been in his place, but this will be the first time on air from his place. I wonder if he'll provide me with a chair or I'll have to stand. Well, just like how Dustin had to stand at his first broadcasting job. They would not give him a chair to read news from. Did you hear that yesterday?
I've never heard this.
You might have been getting ready for what I was on, the 2 guys and a goalie yesterday.
Okay.
So they had one of those higher table type things. So, you could stand at it or you could sit on a high chair. And the morning show host had a chair and Dustin had to stand. And then he said to his boss, he's like, could I get a chair in there sometimes? So if I feel like sitting, and no.
Really?
I can't remember if it was Fort Mac or Lethbridge or somewhere, but
jeez.
Yeah.
Build up your leg strength.
Yeah. All right. Keep clicking the thumbs up on YouTube. Let's get to 100 ASAP. If everybody got in there and clicked right now, actually, we'd be over 130 for word of the day territory. So do not be a pleasure delayer. Get in there and do it. For the Oilers, again, if you've missed it, Eckholm is back. No Nugent Hopkins. No Wallman once again. So Jake Wallman will miss his 2nd consecutive game. Here's the update from Coach Knoblauch.
He is day-to-day. He's got an injury and something that we anticipate him coming back and probably playing one of the 2 games on the back-to-back. Worst case scenario, I think, is probably that last game in San Jose.
What do you think?
I don't know what to think about those.
So, well, because sometimes he says, and again, sometimes he says probably in the back-to-back. So here's the thing. If he says he probably plays in the back-to-back, did he say one? I'll play it again.
He is day-to-day. He's got an injury and something that we anticipate him coming back and probably playing one of the 2 games on the back-to-back. Worst case scenario, I think, is probably that last game in San Jose.
Okay, so if he plays one of the 2 games in the back-to-back, but if he plays the first game in the back-to-back, why wouldn't he just play both? But then he could still miss both those games and come back for the last game of the season against San Jose. So he's either playing 1, 2, or 3 games.
2 things can't be right in the same sentence in regards to this latest update. He's either going to play one of the 2 games in the back-to-back, or worst case scenario is he's going to play the final game of the year in San Jose.
Right. So he'll play 1, 2, or 3 games. He won't play. What Knoblauch is saying is he won't play 0 games. That's what we can take out of that.
That's about it. Yeah.
So really what Knoblauch is saying, Wallman will not miss the rest of the regular season.
And look, I'm not here to stand on a pedestal and say, oh, you should be better at these injury updates or injury reports. All I'm saying is that would probably do everybody a service, and him too, because he's the guy that has to answer these questions. Because guess what? Reid, when he gives you that answer in a scrum, are you going to ask it again? Sure. Because he gave you something to write about.
Yeah, because we'll keep wanting an update.
About it, right?
Well, because Sunday morning, it'll be like, well, you said Wallman might be able to play tonight. Is he going to play? Right.
Whereas if he just said nothing, sorry guys,
but if he
said
nothing, he would still be asked, is there anything to say on Wallman today? I mean, he's going to be asked either way.
Day to day.
You could just always, I guess you could just say day to day and say nothing else.
Week to week.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, Drysdale was asked, was this latest injury the same as the first one? And he just said, I'm not going to comment on that.
Perfect. Great. He has handlers. Clearly.
Well, yeah, I guess. Drysdale with Matthew Awanek's throwing questions from the peanut gallery here. No, he said, I'm not going to comment on that. No, Drysdale said that today.
No, but Knoblauch said that last week.
Drysdale was asked today. Drysdale did an availability today. We played a clip from it.
Speck asked him if it was a different injury. Knoblauch said yes. And Speck said, is that a good thing?
Oh, right. Okay.
Right?
But then today, Drysdale was asked, is this, I can't remember if he was asked if this is the same or related to, and he just said, I'm not going to comment on that. Because then players might target that part of your body. Maybe.
I'm getting like ats in the River Cree inbox. Hey, Glue guy. Did you see my guess? I got it. I got the right.
Oh my God!
It is not. No.
Is it the guy that I said people are going to guess?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, by a mile. But then there's some really interesting.
I actually think somebody's going to get it after the next clue, which I'm not.
And just so everybody knows, Mex is back in the running. Mex is allowed to guess. He's come out of what would we call it?
Not hibernation. Off the
mystery
moratorium.
Athlete purgatory, and he's back in the game. But he did not guess right. Nobody has.
Nobody has. Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game. You're trying to win a $25 GC to Hudson's Canada's Pub. You must text, as I'm sure most of you know, you must text the afternoon inbox 780-218-9999 to win. We don't accept any guesses anywhere else. River Crew Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. Kris Knoblauch was also asked about the goaltender going into the playoffs.
We are going to play the goalie that's playing the best and giving us the best opportunity to win that night. We are going to play the goalie that's playing the best and giving us the best opportunity to win that night.
And yeah, right now they don't know who that's going to be.
No, and you couldn't because Skinner's been out.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Right now it hasn't been decided. Is it possible to win the Stanley Cup with two goaltenders? Yes. Cam Moore didn't start for Carolina in 06. Florida split Murray and Fleury. Could happen. Is it ideal? No, but it could happen. Again, I'm just saying we put so much, like Tom was asking me the other night, because I get the sense that there are some Oilers fans, maybe it's not even majority, but I feel like there are some fans who are really bothered by Mattias Janmark's participation in the NHL.
Yeah, fair point.
And it's like, well, would he come out if it's in the playoffs? And I said, well, no, I don't think he would because he has trust. But at some point, he might come out. I mean, like I was saying, Fogle didn't play Game 6 against Dallas last year. I mean, Perry came out at one point. McLeod came out, I think, earlier in that series. Cece came out during the Stanley Cup final, went in. So, the coaches have to dress the best lineup at the time. Where are you on Janmark, by the way?
Like most people, would like to see more. Okay, but that's more, I guess, from an offensive perspective. That doesn't take into the account, like you said, the confidence that the coaching staff has in his defensive abilities. Right? So I think that point was raised when you're thinking, okay, all these guys are still out, and they're going to come back, even if you include Evander Kane at some point in playoffs. Well, who's coming out? And that is a name that would be close to, the Kapanen and Max Jones, those are the first, and Philp right now.
Well, right now it's easy. When Nuge, Drysdale, and Frederick are all healthy, tonight's fourth line is out. Yes. I don't think there's any debate about that.
No.
And I realize Kapanen looks good at times. I think he's too irresponsible with the puck sometimes. I think Jones is a fairly responsible player, but doesn't have a lot of oomph otherwise.
So the question
is... And Philp's been in the minors most of the year.
Then
he played for the U of A, by the way.
Golden Bears, I believe they're called. Then the question is, okay, Evander Kane now enters the lineup.
Okay, but is everybody healthy if and when that happens?
Well, that's a great point.
And then you deal with it at the time. Point. If Janmark's not playing well, you take him out. And I know people don't take Jeff Skinner. What if Jeff Skinner plays the first 3 games against the Kings and is lousy and Kane's healthy? Well, then he would come out.
That's a
great...
We
don't know. We don't have to decide right now. That's what I'm saying to everybody.
That's a great point. Because by the time Evander Kane might surface and be able to get into this lineup, I wouldn't say there's a chance that they may very well need Evander Kane. And nobody has to come out of the lineup.
Right?
It's the playoffs. It happens.
All right. 780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. We're keeping an eye on the Masters here on the ESTV in the studio. Justin Rose in the clubhouse. He shot 71, so he's 8 under for the tournament. DeChambeau, second place at 7 under. 4 players are at 6 under. 2 of them are still on the course. Scheffler and Hatton are into their last 3 or 4 holes. McIlroy and Canadian Corey Connors already in the clubhouse at 6 under. So you, me, and what's the other kid's name? Iwanek?
No, Uwanuk.
Have a bet that Scheffler will be in first place.
Tied for first or
first by the end of the day. So he has to play the last 3 holes in 2 under. We'll see.
Highly unlikely.
Buying or selling is presented by Damon Bunting. We're selling on that. A consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate.
You've been watching the Masters yesterday, today. You've been seeing the highlights. You've been seeing, guys lip out from the 4 feet. Or, how do they keep backspinning it into Rays Creek? Why don't they just put it deeper? So the question was raised, and Reid, I want to know if you're buying or selling that golf, okay? I guess the question is, what professional sport has the largest gap from amateur/beer league, call it, okay, to professional on TV? Buying or selling golf has the largest gap from average schmucks like you and I to Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, this is a fun topic. So, I mean, if we're saying beer leaguer, then to me, we're saying someone who has never even played the sport like, I would even say you're not a beer leaguer for football because you played university football, Like a beer leaguer is someone like me. I like sports. I like playing sports. But I've never been anywhere near post-secondary or...
Let's keep it true to beer league.
Okay, right. So you've...
Weekend warrior.
So, yeah, it's like, I mean, there are probably thousands of mostly men, but now more and more women, but thousands of people in Edmonton who have played hockey all their lives. But even they would tell you, probably in the grand scheme of things, suck at hockey. Like they played minor hockey. They played up until the end of, it was called midget. What is it now? U17. And then maybe they played junior B, or maybe in university or college, they played intramural, and then they get into the workforce and they join the company team and they play once every Tuesday at 10 p.m. at some rink, and that's their level. Like those people would get crushed in the National Hockey League. Absolutely crushed.
Well, look no further than the Heavy Hockey Showdown with our very own Sean Bell skating circles effortlessly around players on both teams.
Right.
And he hasn't been in the NHL for a while. But sometimes those things just don't wear off that fast. But I think golf, I mean, the precision and accuracy and consistency that you see in professional golf is unlike, we couldn't do that. We simply couldn't do that.
But even on a course like Augusta, I could maybe a lot of others. So I'm like, I think the lowest my handicap has ever been is 17. I guess I would call myself a 20, but I didn't golf much this last
You
summer.
and I would be very similar.
But even say a 10 handicap, you might be able to fluke out a par on a par 3 at Augusta. Like maybe it's just that distance for your longer mid-iron.
It would be a fluke. It would be luck.
But could a beer leaguer fluke out an NHL goal? By the time you got to the net, the puck would be going the other way. You wouldn't be able to keep up with the pace.
You could take one off the ass and into the net.
Yeah, that'd be about the only thing, I suppose.
Right? If you made it there, if you didn't get your head taken off.
See, like you put this out in the bullpen earlier today, and I think this is a fun question. But I think, like, if you threw a beer league caliber human being up against a professional, what's the biggest mismatch is basically what we're saying. I think it would be in tennis. Like, I think if somebody who went out and played tennis once or twice a week with their buddies in the summer here in Edmonton, and maybe you played a bit in the winter, like maybe you like tennis, you play a bit, you know how to hit a racket, you know how to hit the ball. I think if you went up against a pro, even a decent quote unquote beer league caliber tennis player would not get a point against a professional tennis player. Like you wouldn't even touch the serve. I think it would take you half the match to comprehend how fast the serve is on top of you.
But here's the thing. Even a beer league tennis player has held a racket, has played tennis.
Sure.
So they have a puncher's chance to say. I'm just saying the consistency that we get to watch on the Masters is just, it's out of this world. I know the other one that was brought up was Well, hockey was brought up, right? That was one where skating.
Right.
Skating separates you.
And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't, by the time you got to where your position was, the puck would be in a totally different, like you would just have your head spinning the entire time.
Okay. The par at Masters is 72, right?
Yes.
Double that's 144.
Yes.
You and I go out there and play a scramble. From the tips, from the Masters
tees.
Yeah.
Not the
Can
members
we break
tees.
144?
Probably not.
I highly doubt
you
it.
and I are playing best ball?
Best ball.
Or okay,
best
so.
ball.
Right.
Every shot, best ball. Like, I don't think we get it.
Like, you might, okay, so the second guy to putt would have a bit of an advantage. And it'd probably be more likely there'd be more occasions when we would both hit a bad shot as opposed to one of us hit a really good usable one.
And from the tips. I mean, the length alone.
Oh, yeah. For members tees, maybe. I'm not sure how much shorter it is. I think quite a bit. And I believe at Augusta, they just have Masters and members tees. I'm not sure if they have all the other distances.
Dolphin Nation says boxing.
Well, yeah, that's like so many, right? Like if you did... Boxing's different. Like how many people do boxing just recreationally? I'm not even sure. But yeah, you'd be... Again, but that's the thing. A lot of these sports that involve... See, golf doesn't involve a physical confrontation against an opponent. You're playing the course. You would just be overwhelmed by the conditions of the course. In hockey, boxing, whether it's a team sport or an individual sport, you would just be physically overwhelmed by the speed and or power of your opponent. Like, yeah, if you grew up boxing and kept boxing for fun and did it just to stay in shape and maybe sparred, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, you're boxing Klitschko or even Alexis that we have in studio. Like, you could be killed.
Yeah, you could. You could lose your life. Mike, the Michigan fan, the gap between the PGA, Korn Ferry, and Mackenzie Tour is huge.
True.
That says a lot right there. Those are all pros.
Yes. So then take it way down. Take it at a 10 handicap or something. Like if I golfed a full, so say I'm playing really well, like I'm having the summer of my life, and I'm 17 handicap, which I think is the best my handicap has ever been, right? So I'm shooting occasionally in the high to mid 80s. And even if I were to golf a 10 handicap, I would not beat that guy all summer. Probably. Like,
you'd get strokes.
Unless I shot, well, yeah, if just straight up.
To equal it up, but if you play straight up, you're not.
I mean, it would have to be a round where I go out and shoot an 82, have my best round of the summer, and he is off and shoots an 84.
Off. Yes.
Right.
No chance.
Yeah.
Now, the inverse of that. What's the beer league sport that has the smallest skill gap to professional?
We'll think about it.
Think about it.
And discuss after the Koob.
The Oilers need a Flames loss or a point against the Sharks to clinch a sixth consecutive playoff berth. Edmonton will not have Leon Drysdale, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Jake Wallman for the contest, but Mattias Ekholm and Stuart Skinner both return, with Skinner backing up Calvin Pickard. Tom Gazola goes live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show to preview the action right here on EST. Tune in an hour before puck drop at 6:30. And other teams look to clinch. Canadians, if they beat the Senators in regulation, they will make it back to the playoffs for the first time since being in the Stanley Cup final in 2021. And with Minnesota, if they beat the Flames in any fashion, they'll make it to the playoffs. For the Wild, top prospect and former 12th overall pick Zeev Bayam is joining the team from the NCAA before the end of the season. On the links, Canadian Corey Connors is in third place at 6 under through 18 holes, sitting 2 points back from Justin Rose, who holds top spot from the clubhouse. Jays Orioles opener has been postponed due to weather. That's been rebooked for a day with a doubleheader on July 29th. Basketball has 15 games. The Raptors challenge the Mavericks. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. The show rolls on once we get back from break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
Craving a late night snack? Hit the Banquet for our new late night happy hour. Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. till close. Try favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or our Banquet burger and fries. All at happy hour prices. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman B. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
Hey, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Oilers Sharks at 7:30. Calvin Pickard in net for the Oilers will be backed up by Stuart Skinner. Jay and I are in the Banquet studio. Spin to win Fridays at the Banquet. Yeah. Spin the wheel for a chance to win big and save on your bill. Details at thebanquetbar.com. What's going on with the golf? How did Scheffler do?
I don't know. They haven't updated the score, but I'm fearful that he missed his putt for par.
Was that a par putt on? No, he would be playing the 16th already. He's done 15. He's done 15
on 16. No, he hasn't. Yeah, well, I think he still has a chance. It's not a great chance, but the question was asked the opposite of what presents the smallest gap from beer league to professional. Pickleball, darts.
Well, there's no way an average dart player would have a chance against a professional dart player.
Darts, I don't believe so.
You'd have skin pricks all over you.
Pickleball, I don't think so either.
Is there professional pickleball? I guess there is.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, there is. I think Yukon Jack's wife plays pickleball professionally.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and she's like ranked in the world. I don't think, I'm sorry to say this, but what about curling? Sorry, Mike, the Michigan fan.
I don't know. How bad were we the weekend we curled?
But Reid, by the end of the whatever 6 games, I could get it in the rings. That's one day. I'm not
doesn't mean
saying
you could score or win. Okay,
but I'm just looking for the smallest gap. Video games I don't include as a sport. I'm sorry.
No, we're not including. Did somebody say that?
Somebody did.
We're not including that.
We are not.
By the way, if you are participating as a listener on YouTube, remember to click that thumbs up button. We are just shy of 100, so let's rally and get there very quickly. And if we get to 130, we will give you a word of the day before we go at 6 o'clock. And if we get to 100 and a double word of the day, which is always exciting. Do you want to do, what do you have? More messages on what about the off-topic topic? Well, I can give mine for that too.
Yeah, why don't we get back into that?
Okay. The off-topic topic for William Huff. What should be changed about the sport of golf? I'm going to give a rule that I believe should only exist at the amateur level and not even at the non-competitive level. Okay? I think the hole should be made bigger. Why should klutzy, incompetent Reid Wilkins have to try to hit the same target that Tiger Woods is hitting? The hole in golf is 4.25 inches in diameter.
4.5?
4.25. Four and a quarter inches.
What are you proposing
Just make it 5 inches.
See, that's not that much.
No. I'm not saying make it like a basketball.
I thought you were going to say like 6 or 7 inches.
No, just give it another, like maximum 1 inch more diameter. So anytime an everyday golfer would have lipped out or burned the side of the hole, it goes in. That's all. It may not, you know what? And in a lot of rounds, it may not even make a difference. Make the hole just a little bigger. I mean, why are we still...
Cool.
And this is the thing with golf. Why are we still doing things based on what the King of Scotland wanted when he was golfing in the 1300s or whenever golf was invented?
Tradition? It's a sport based off tradition.
True, but I also think things can change. And like another thing I would change is, now this is really hard. If I were building a new golf course, it's 12 holes.
Now that I can get behind.
No, and I'm saying at the pro level, fine, everything's 18. But it's hard now because, like, as I said, everything's 18. And can you even book 9 holes at some courses?
Sure you can.
Okay. But if it was like a busy weekend, would they fit you in for 9? I don't know if they would. I guess they can't stop you.
I have a hard time committing to 18. It's a time thing.
Time and money, baby.
Whatever. You're going to pay for golf.
But
it's
I feel
the time of it.
But I feel as if 9's not enough. If you want to get up there to play and enjoy the weather and maybe really get your swing going, Now the other option would be make it 15 holes and par is always 60. Right? So you have 9 par 4s, 3 par 5s, 3 par 3s, par is always 60. Still be almost a 4-hour. You're only shaving off 3 holes. But I do find, and a lot of people say this, that once they get to 15, 16, 17, it's a little bit like, hey, when is this done? What if it was just done after 15? What was that? You're starting to be like, okay, I've had fun, but enough. Oh, I'm on 14. I only have 1 hole left after this.
I think 12 is kind of the magic number.
Do you?
Yeah. Aren't there courses that do this already?
Well, I believe, is it Pine Ridge by Seba Beach? I think they're now a 12-hole course. And I played it, but it was a few years ago. It was a 9 when I was a kid growing up by Evansburg, and they added 3 holes. It's a 12-hole course.
Big Uke. Seba Beach has a wicked 12-hole track.
Yeah, I think it's called Pine Ridge. But here's the problem. Every course in the world is either 9 or 18 holes. There's probably some that have been constructed shorter now. But these are changes that I'm making for the everyday golfer level. Make the hole a little bit bigger. Make the hole again, I'm not saying make it the size of a basketball. 3/4 of an inch increase in diameter. In some rounds, that might not actually help. But some rounds, maybe you shave 3 off your score, and it's not like it's a massive modification of the game. And then the pros still have to do something a little bit harder. They got to play on the traditional sized hole.
Well, and where's the first place to look if you want to shave strokes off your game?
Putting.
The putting. So that would probably make a difference in people's games. Ross says NASCAR. It's just a bunch of left turns.
That there's no, he says that's the smallest gap.
Smallest
gap.
I mean, we all drive.
We all drive. Yeah. I hope, we're going to find out if Gager's listening or not. Really, any auto racing.
Well, F1
what's
does
the
include
gap
right-handed
between, What's
drive
the gap
turns.
between someone driving on the Henday and an F1 driver? Hardly anything, Gager.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Pretty much the same thing, bro.
Like put Sally from accounting in a car that has DRS or whatever it's called. She's fine.
Grumpy Cat, should we make the golf balls bigger too, Reid?
No. What would be the point of making the golf balls bigger and the holes bigger? We'd cancel out.
I think he's just generally unhappy with your...
Yeah, probably. I make a lot of people unhappy.
He said 12 holes is perfect. Beer league curling is in the 6 to 8 ends, depending on the league. Beer league hockey is 14-minute periods.
Right. So why is... And at least if you're in a beer league, there might be standings and a championship at the end, or a night of wings. Golf, it's just your score. So why do I have to play 18 holes? I guess you could technically just walk off the course whenever you wanted, but you've already paid for the round. But that's a good point. If you play beer league hockey, you are not playing 3 20-minute stop time periods, I would assume, with the ice being flooded, right? Our curling bond spiel, the EST fun spiel, it was 3. The games were 3 ends.
Yeah.
Isn't a lot of fun curling 6 or 8?
That's what he said, 6 to 8. Yeah. And Chief Andy says, another while we're at it, give Jay a smaller mic.
Could do that.
Could do.
I mean, we could wear lav mics.
I think
the volume would be the same.
I think what he meant was that I should be muted.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's, wow. Happy Friday to you too, Chief Andy. While we're, that fired me up.
Do you want to save your fired up, though? We don't have a lot of time because Jed's coming up in 5 minutes.
We could do that.
What do you want to do? You want to do it at 5:40 or 5:10?
Well, I'm fired up right now.
Okay, you want to do it quickly?
Sure.
All right, time to get fired up for Gemco Fireplaces. Proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years, the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street.
I don't understand what's going on in the world.
That's a very broad fired up. The entire world has annoyed Jason Milne.
Well, more so the world of movies. And one movie in particular has drawn the ire of Jay Milne. This Minecraft movie. Have you heard of it, Reid?
I have heard of it.
The Minecraft movie stars Jack Black and Jason Momoa, I believe.
Okay, yeah, he was in Game of Thrones, wasn't he?
Yeah. The reviews have been lukewarm at best. One described it as a blunt object used to beat you into submission. However, there's this thing called TikTok. All the kids use it. And the trend now in this Minecraft movie has become quite a problem. Kids are now reciting the words that are apparently, as Koob said, memes from the trailer. Like one is Chicken Jockey, Flint and Steel, and I Am Steve.
I don't even want to say they're kids. These are probably 18.
They're used.
Well, I didn't do it. I watched the movie. I didn't do it. But there's a lot of other people who were right there wanting to do it. Anyways.
And they are totally disrupting the movie theater. There's been cases that live chickens have been brought into the theater. Kids throwing popcorn, standing up, yelling and shouting during the movie, and just making a mess. I mean, kids have been kicked out of movie theaters. Cops have shown up to movie theaters because of this TikTok trend. If you're watching on YouTube, Koob's going to give you an idea of what I'm talking about.
Chicken
Oh, wow.
Okay, Snitch.
And how did this start? Somebody just decided to do it?
TikTok.
Oh, cops are coming to... Is this staged? This has to be staged. So basically the kids are vandalizing the theater to some extent.
Very much so. Bringing live chickens into the theater, all for a TikTok trend.
That's sick.
I have no idea what it's about. This is my call it old man yelling at clouds segment. I don't understand it. I never will. Koob, who's in the same age demographic.
Well, he's older than the kids in that video.
Probably not.
No.
You're not a kid. You're an adult.
Yeah, I'm
You're 21 years old.
And I saw the movie. I enjoyed it. There were people exactly my age. The age group is watching these movies, doing those things, are in the age group of like 17 to 22.
Oh, really?
Seriously. Yeah, there's people my age probably doing that at the theaters, which is unfortunate. But it is like a teenage movie, you know. But people in my age group, 5 years younger to 21, whatever, are going crazy. And it's silly to see.
Now, this happened before. This happened with the cult classic from 1975, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
It's a great movie.
People would dress up and dance and sing along with the song.
Cosplay is dancing is different
This
than
is
throwing
different.
I think they throw toast at one point in Rocky Horror.
And there was no social media to do it.
Right.
To say, look at me, I'm doing this for
right.
social media. So I don't understand. If I was in a movie theater and I got hit in the back of the head with a chicken, I'd probably faint. And I'd be pissed off.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be hit in the back of the head with a chicken in any situation.
Do your own research. Every country around the world has their own horror stories about chickens and popcorn and cops showing up to the movie theater. And if you're a aficionado like yourself, Reid, I would imagine this kind of actions and reactions and outbursts would be quite annoying to you.
Yeah, if I didn't know what was happening, I'd be like, what is going on? Am I safe here?
Imagine some grandparents out there taking their grandchildren to the theater.
Because I think if you were to go to Rocky Horror, you would also be going to see the crowd, even if you weren't going to participate in it. Hopefully you would know, somebody's going to be dressed like Frankenfurter and there's certain lines they're going to yell out and all that kind of stuff.
Well, when I watched
Minecraft, creating badasses.
Yeah, basically. Well, not really. It was... Well, while watching the movie, when Jack Black said it on screen, there was people clapping. There were people clapping for when he said it. They didn't go AWOL. They didn't do crazy things, but they showed excitement and
Well, at least young people are going to the theater.
Sure.
It is 4:40. We got Jed Roberts coming up. Tom Gazola is going to check in as well. Oilers play the Sharks tonight. Oilers looking to clinch a playoff spot. Here's a sports update.
The Oilers need one more point or a Flames loss to the Wild to clinch a playoff spot. Calvin Pickard starts tonight for Edmonton against the Sharks. Stuart Skinner backs him up during Mattias Ekholm's return to action. Meanwhile, Oilers head coach Kris Knoblauch gave some injury updates. Jake Wallman won't play tonight. He's day-to-day. So is Leon Drysdale. And Tom Gazola gets you set for the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show here on EST. That goes live at 6:30. And if Montreal beats Ottawa in regulation, the Habs make it to the playoffs for the first time since 2021. 3 other games on tap, including the Wild looking to clinch a playoff spot with a win of any form over the Flames. At Augusta National, Corey Connors is the highest-ranked Canadian. He's tied in 3rd place at 6 under. Connors playing all 18 holes today, while Justin Rose still holds 1st place at 8 under par from the clubhouse. The Jays-Orioles game has been postponed due to weather. It's been rescheduled for late July, booking a doubleheader for the two teams. And on the court, Toronto visits Dallas. And for the 76ers, Joel Embiid has undergone arthroscopic surgery on his left knee and will be reevaluated in 6 weeks. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years. Their West End showroom is open 7 days a week. You can also shop online at ParamountFlooring.ca. We get back after the break here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazola and Hernan Salas. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Okay, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. We got the Masters on the television. Rose 8 under, he's in the clubhouse. DeChambeau 7 under, he's in the clubhouse. At 6 under, McIlroy and Connors in the clubhouse. Scheffler and Hatton still on the course. So Tony Finau, did I bet on him? I might have done one of my own $1 bets on him. I am not a big money bettor. What was my Super Bowl bet? I made I made 12 $2 prop bets, I think. And I came out $4 ahead.
Yeah.
Or did I make 25 $1? No, I think
10 $1.
Yeah, that's right. I made 10 $2 prop bets.
That's right.
Right, and I came out about $4 ahead. So multiply that by 100 if I would have been a big money bettor.
Question came in on the River Cree inbox.
Okay.
780-218-9999. Coach Mike, any clarity from Knoblauch on Eckholm? Is he 100%? I don't.
No, he didn't say anything that I remember. He just said the impact of having him back.
And, really, I guess you wouldn't get that much information, nor would a coach really ever say.
They're going to say he's cleared to play.
He's cleared to play.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a good. Was that from Mike?
Coach Mike.
Coach Mike. Good guy. All right, we are in the banquet studio. Craving a late night snack? Check out the Banquet's new late night happy hour menu. Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. until close. Enjoy favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or the Banquet burger at happy hour prices. Get real, play hard. Oh, we love having this guy on the show. He's been a regular ever since we debuted in September. Double E alum, double E legend, all-around good guy, Jed Roberts checking in. Jed, it's Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes. Where are you checking in from today? Can you tell us?
Yeah, I'm at home.
Okay.
I picked my son up from high school and then I raced back to the house and just got set up here, just waiting for you guys to give me a shout. It's good to be here.
We've talked a lot of sports. You've known Jay and I separately for a long time, and obviously you've been on shows that I've hosted. I don't know if you and I have ever talked about golf. Are you a golfer? Or is there a most famous golf course that you've ever played in your travels? What's the story there?
Not really. I'm not much of a golfer. I sure like to watch it, but I'm not much of a player. I'm not very good. But I did as far as famous courses go, I don't think I've ever actually really been to any of the big ones. But I did for a time work at the most expensive public course in the U.S. in Colorado at Arrowhead. I think the green fees there in 1991 were $150 or something like that. So. Not cheap. So it was fun. I was a greenskeeper there. So that was fun. It was a great job. I enjoyed that.
Jed, I seem to recall that you would golf in a tournament in the Northwest Territories that would take place and I believe the sun never went down or something. What was that all about? Well, it's the Midnight Classic where you tee off at midnight and the sun's still up and you take a little 2x2 patch of AstroTurf. You lay it down because there's no grass up there, right? It's just tundra. And you just head off of that. So wherever your ball is,
You just put the ball on top of you hit it off your little swatch of AstroTurf. It's a lot of fun, man. It's, driving a cart through that stuff. I mean, it's mostly sand, so it's like playing in a giant sand trap. But it's a lot of fun. There's people from all over the world that come up there. And you just something really crazy always happens every year. I think I golfed in about 4 of those. And, man, the story is incredible. It's so much fun. I highly recommend anybody that's a golfer get up there and do that at least once in their lifetime, because it's not really so much for the golf as it is for the surreal experience of teeing off at midnight and then playing all night. But the black flies, oh my goodness, they're so bad.
Really?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun though. It's well worth it.
What would do you wear a repellent or clothes? What do they do to ward off the flies?
You just grit your teeth and get through it. Yeah, bug spray, lots of DEET. I don't even know if they make that anymore. And then bug nets around your face, because they when I say they're really bad, and they take a chunk out of you too. So you got to cover up. They get really, really, and the mosquitoes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's everything's done pretty intensely up there. You don't get the sun for very much, but when it's there, it's there. It kind of circles up in the sky type of thing. So. What a wonderful place. So people are amazing. It's the hospitality is off the chain. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend going if anybody ever wants to go and do something different.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, Jed Roberts joining us this afternoon. Oilers can clinch tonight, Jed. I mean, I know you follow the team really closely. Clearly, they've battled through some injuries, and maybe some injuries where a guy could have played if it was the postseason. Are you kind of cool with this? Maybe I don't know if it's direct load management, but there might be a little bit let's not take a risk. Are you okay sacrificing a couple spots in the standings if the Oilers are maybe a little healthier going into the playoffs? How do you look at that?
Yeah, I've been saying that all along. I really think that this team, when they're playing at their best, really can beat anybody. And when they're playing and firing on all cylinders, they're the best team, I think, in the league. So, yeah, absolutely. I don't really think at this point it really matters. I think this is a team that, if they're healthy, they have the best chance at moving forward in the playoffs. So I think that it's imperative that they do some load management. And I also think that we're seeing what we talked about last week, Reid, when we talked about how the Arvidssons and the Skinners, the Jeff Skinner, that is, and Podkolzin and some of those guys, they're all stepping up. They're bringing their game up to, and Connor Brown, man, what a game, right? 2 goals. So we're getting a lot of secondary scoring, and guys that we weren't hearing a lot from in the beginning of the year are stepping up and answering the bell. So I think that, it's twofold, right? You get your big guns rested, your 5 or 6 guys rested, and then you get your secondary scoring kind of going, and you kind of hit the playoffs on a positive forward momentum type of thing. So it's going to be interesting to see who they send to the press box. That's what these guys are playing for, is time in the playoffs.
Well, that's a great point. And without knowing the likes of Trent Frederic, who for 7 minutes and 10 seconds looked like very inspired hockey, but re-aggravated a high ankle sprain. Jed, have you come across a high ankle sprain throughout your career?
Yeah, and they are really, really it's tough, right? And especially I found that when I sprained my medial highest, that was the one that took the longest to heal, which oddly enough, it sounds counterintuitive, because you would think that a lateral sprain on the outside would take longer because you tend to push off. But I found that the medial, because especially in hockey, I think because you push off, and I don't know which side Frederic's sprain is on, but I know that either way, it's going to be, it'll take a while. And I think I heard on, maybe it was you was talking about sometimes it's just better to break it, because when you break it, the bone heals, and then boom, Bob's your uncle. But when you sprain it, man, you got all kinds of problems in there. You got soft tissue, you got ligaments, you got tendons and stuff. So it's almost better to break it, and knock on wood, I don't want anything bad to happen to Frederick, but the rehab is type of things, like if you re-aggravate it, then you set yourself back a couple of weeks, which it looks like that's what happened in this case. But I'm confident he'll be back. You get setbacks in any injury. I think Sometimes I think you think you're capable of doing more than you can, and you want to help the team, and you really rip roaring to go, especially coming to a new team from in a trade, right? Like, he wants to feel like a part of the gang, and it's tough watching from the press box. I know from experience, when you're injured, you can't make the club in the tub, right? So you gotta, you can't really call yourself a real member of the team unless you're out there pulling your weight. So I think sometimes you got to protect these guys from themselves, and I think that's part of this load management philosophy, is to give these guys a bit of a break so we can get everybody kind of hitting the playoffs on the same note, so to speak.
I got to say, Scotty Scheffler is under a tree at the Masters. And for people who can't see this right now, maybe you're driving home from work, you're going to want to check out these highlights later.
You'll see it.
Not just his ball is under a tree, he is sitting under a tree. He might have to play this shot from his knees to try to hit it out. So looking very much like an average golfer.
Well, it's like the great Glenn Harper always likes to say, and he's a great golfer in his own right, the former punter of the Edmonton Football Club. Trees are 99% air.
True. That's true. That's a good note to end on. Jay and I were talking earlier. Jay had a great idea. And we've had some fun discussion with our listeners. What sport has the greatest gap between a professional and a beer league caliber player? I thought tennis. Somebody said boxing.
Tennis.
We've had some hockey.
Golf, boxing. Yeah. Wow, that's a great one. I really like that one. That's awesome. Man, there's so many different options. Yeah, I'd have to think about that. I don't know if I could say anything off the top of my head. Darts is another one,
Right? Yeah. True. Somebody said darts. I was like, I don't know, but you wouldn't beat a professional dart player. All right. But certainly, like if you in your prime went out and played against a bunch of flag football players, you'd have to hold up because you could injure somebody.
And that's funny that you say that, because I went back to Denver my first couple of years with the football club, the Edmonton Football Club, and I played flag and ended up on a flag team with some of my old college teammates, and we actually made the semifinals. And oddly enough, we lost to a bunch of former Denver Broncos.
Oh wow!
And they were really good. Yeah. So so that tells you something, right? And I just thought of an answer, Reid. Auto racing.
Okay, we were joking about that to give Gager a hard time, but okay, yeah.
Because those guys are a different breed, man. Like, you can really tell. So,
Jed, you're the best. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the Oilers game tonight, and of course, they got another one on Sunday. Lots of golf to watch. We love you, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, man. I'll see you at the next one.
That's Jed Roberts checking in. So Scheffler is going to play his shot out. He is standing, but for a while he looked like a kid trying to hide. Like he was behind all these low-hanging branches, sitting by his ball, and he's got a rules official there. I don't know if he's trying to adjust I don't know what he could argue here for an adjusted lie. Maybe they're just making sure he's playing this cleanly. So Scheffler, okay, now they went to a wider shot, and all you can see is his legs. His upper body is totally concealed by the foliage at Augusta. I know this is, well, we're not going to win our collective bet. I have to admit, the dark side of me enjoys seeing a professional golfer in this situation. Oh, because I'm in this situation once around. And I'm trying to hack it out, guys. Everybody, watch out, okay? It could come out in any direction. This is what, he's trying to, and you know how when you're an amateur golfer like us or like a weekend golfer, you're trying to step on a branch or step on a little shrub he's kind of kicking a branch out of the way, adjusting his stance. He's hovering over the ball. He got way more height on it than I didn't think it was coming out that high, but he basically just lofted it out into the middle of the fairway. So that's probably the best he could do from there. Now, did you think it was going to come out on that angle? No. I thought he was going to almost have to semi-putt it out. Yeah, I know we got to do a clue. I'm slow and dumb. Jeez. And I think, did Hatton miss? I think he missed about a 3-foot putt and had an 8-footer coming back.
Gotta love the Masters. You never know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
That's beautiful. Keep giving us the thumbs up on YouTube. I don't know what's going on. It said we were at 100, and now it says we're below 100 again. So the thumbs up could be unreliable.
I think sometimes people think they've forgotten to click, and then when they unclick, it takes the thumb away. So just make sure it's highlighted in black.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
There you go.
Yeah, let's see what we can get to today. Let's crawl over 100 here, and then we'll keep going and building to word of the day territory. All right, I got to give the third clue in the Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game. I've been negligent. The third clue is Rocky. First clue was Germany. Second clue, 1993. Third clue is Rocky. You must text in your guess to the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant, all-you-can-eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. Third clue is Rocky. I think we're going to get a winner while we're in the break here. I do. We got the 5 o'clock break and the update from Koob coming up.
The EST Hangout.
The Evander Kane that people are expecting, it's been a couple of years since.
That's been pre-cut. You know what you're going to get for him? You're going to get somebody that probably wants to come in and make a statement and kick ass and help this team win a Stanley Cup.
Doesn't sound like Evander Kane.
I know. You're saying you're playing in the playoff.
Right, but he was also a guy last year that complained about not being in the top 7.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Spin to win Fridays at the Banquet. Every Friday, spin the wheel for a chance to win big and save on your bill. It's that easy. Spin, win, and save. Don't miss out. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Mattias Ekholm slots back in for the Oilers as they look to clinch a playoff spot against the Sharks. Stuart Skinner returns as a backup to Calvin Pickard, while Jake Wallman and Leon Drysdale are day-to-day. No Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for tonight as well. Tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 6:30 as Tom Gazola tees up the action right here on EST. And there's 4 other games on tap, 3 of which start in just a moment. Canadians can clinch if they find a regulation win over the Senators, while Detroit visits Tampa Bay and the Pens face off against the Devils. Meanwhile, Avs captain Gabriel Landeskog will play his first hockey game since 2022, dressing for the AHL Eagles to kick off a 3-game conditioning stint for the Avalanche. In baseball, the Jays and Orioles opener has been postponed due to weather conditions. That one's been rescheduled for July 29th, booking a doubleheader. Right now, there's 2 games live, both scoreless, including the Royals and Guardians in the bottom of the 3rd inning. On the court, Toronto visits Dallas. 3 games get underway in just a moment. Pacers take on the Pistons. While in Philly, Joel Embiid has undergone arthroscopic surgery on his left knee and will be reevaluated in 6 weeks. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update. The 3rd and final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Hey, thanks, Koob. Great job, buddy. We got the Masters on the ESTV. I'll be heading to the rink tonight to cover the Oilers and the Sharks. It's a 7:30 game. We have a 6:30 Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show with Tom Gazola coming up. I'll join Tom on the postgame show to see if the Oilers can clinch a playoff spot. So they need a point or a point that Calgary doesn't get. So if the Oilers win or get the game into overtime, they're in. If the Oilers were to lose in regulation time, but Calgary loses in any fashion, then the Oilers would be in. Hopefully the Oilers can beat the Sharks, who are, a bad team, but I think an energetic team. And as we saw, for the most part, they're playing hard. Now they get into some wild games. They had an 8-7 game the other night. But as we saw when they played the Oilers last week, they hung in there. Now, the Oilers did not have McDavid for that game, right? And Drysdale was already out for that game as well. But see if the Oilers can wrap it up. It is fan appreciation night.
Yeah. They're giving away quite a bit of, I guess, trips. You can go on the road with the team round 1. Next year, a road trip to California. And get this, a road trip to Utah. Wow.
To see the hockey club or whatever they're going to be called.
Utah. Woo. Going to Utah.
Well, it has the appeal of you've never been there to watch the NHL before.
Zach Hyman's Celebrity Classic this summer in Toronto.
You get to go to that as a fan? That'd be cool.
You'd get an entry.
Well, yeah, that's me. You get to play.
You get to play in it.
Oh, neat.
An Okanagan wine tour with Kevin Lowe.
Oh, cool.
And private dinner for 8 in the Oilers locker room.
That'd be a weird place to eat.
It would.
Sometimes it doesn't smell very good. I guess that's after games when I go in there. You're standing in a scrum next to some smelly equipment.
Think about this. I wanted to bring this up to you.
Okay.
And this is inspired by what I heard on the morning show earlier today with Dustin and Lieutenant Eric. Is how, if you're looking right now at the Canadian teams that are going to be making the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Sure.
It looks like there's going to be, 5 teams out of the 7?
And Montreal can clinch tonight? If they don't, they'll clinch pretty soon.
They're pretty safe, but it's also safe to say Calgary and Vancouver are pretty much out of it. Well, Vancouver
actually is out of it.
Yeah,
Calgary's in a tough spot.
Probably will be. But when you're saying which Canadian team has the best chance or the highest likelihood to go and win the Stanley Cup. If you dare say somebody other than the beloved Edmonton Oilers, you're how can you say that? They're the best team. But this is the same, the same fan base that will attack and criticize every aspect of this team, particularly in a loss and particularly on a bad goal. And I just, you know what? I love that. I love seeing it firsthand here in front of me. The ebbs and flows of being an Oilers fan.
Yes.
It's almost like, hey, I can talk to my kid that way, but how dare you?
Right, that's a good point.
How dare you, Coach Sam,
right, criticize
my little girl for any mistakes? Leave that to me.
Right.
I'm the dad. How you've obviously been doing this a lot longer, but do you find that it is a different rules apply?
Yeah, maybe.
And I'm not saying this is different anywhere in any other market.
I think Oilers fans or fans of a certain team don't want to be trash talked by, I cheer for them. I can say that they're bad, but how dare you from another city? Were you worried about your own team? Now, I think if Oilers fans were to list the Canadian teams in order of likelihood of winning the Stanley Cup, I don't know if all Oilers fans would put the Oilers first. I mean, how could you not put Winnipeg first?
I agree. Just by standings alone, they're the best Canadian team entering the playoffs.
Yes.
That's not up for debate. That's actually factual by way of this standings sheet right here.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to win the President's Trophy, right? They're 3 up on Washington now. I guess Washington has a game in hand. Washington clinched the best record in the East, so we kind of knew that was going to happen for a while. So right now, probably Washington, Montreal, and probably Toronto, Ottawa. Though we'll see. I mean, Toronto still has to put it away, but they got a big win in Tampa Bay in overtime the other night. All right. Pardon me. Our game of the night is presented by Playmore Tables and Games. From ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for, visit Canada's game room experts.
Playmore Tables and Games.
Locations in Edmonton and Calgary are online at playmoregames.ca. I like how we just keep adding audio to that. Just keep adding clips to surprise me.
Let's go, girls.
I'm going to stick in the NBA. I went NBA last night. I watched the game. I just think that this, particularly in the Western Conference, this race to the playoffs is going to, it's tightening up. There's not many games left, but Houston is going to be in LA taking on the Lakers tonight. And then, I am biased towards late games. So it is a late start. It's 8:30. So Houston visiting the Lakers. Dustin Nielsen and Matthew Iwanik's Lakers.
They both like the Lakers? I thought Dusty just liked LeBron.
Yeah, like that. His whole thing there with LeBron, like I think he's actually a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. To be I'm not even kidding.
If he had a team?
Iwanik is a Lakers fan.
But when Iwanik was little, he just looked in a sports almanac and saw who had won the most championships, and those are his favorite teams.
Well, Yankees.
Because he likes Yankees, Lakers, Man U.
The U.
Is that what it's called?
No, like the U, University of Miami.
Oh, is that his favorite?
Well, don't even get me going on that. He's got two favorite NCAA teams.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I try to talk to him as little as possible. My game of the night will be Montreal, Ottawa.
Yeah,
the two feel-good Canadian stories from the Eastern Conference. Ottawa already in the playoffs. I mean, Ottawa's got 90 points. The Oilers got 95. So Ottawa's had a really good season. And the Canadians with a chance to clinch. And this is besides the Oilers game. And I guess we got to keep an eye on Minnesota and Calgary as well, which is an 8 o'clock start down in Calgary. So the Oilers may have already clinched by the end of that game. But it's a big game for Calgary to try to stay alive. I mean, they're really chasing Minnesota and St. Louis now, not really so much chasing Edmonton anymore. So I will say Montreal, Ottawa, which I believe is just getting underway, and Minnesota and Calgary for my games of the night for Playmore Tables and Games.
We never talked about this on air. Well, I didn't talk to you about it off air either, but Barry the Cheater brings it up in the River Cree inbox. Reid, how was the press box with YouTube Trev?
Oh, it was great.
He went to
it was great. Yeah, I talked about it a little bit Thursday morning when I did and I think Trev's dad put a thank you in the nasty chat the other day.
Oh, did he?
No, I did not arrange Trev's credentials. I didn't know he was going until that day. But I think he had a good experience. He sat between, I was on his right, Jim Matheson was on his left. So a little bit of a discrepancy there in experience and Hall of Fame credentials. But I think he talked to Jim a little bit, and Trev was very professional. I think he appreciated being up there. He took in the game. He asked me about my note taking a couple of times, and he came down and observed the scrums in the dressing room after, and went to the Hall of Fame room and took in the Knoblauch scrum. So it was just too bad that his car didn't work and he didn't get home till like 3 hours before he had to be at work.
What happened?
His car broke down on the way to the rink.
No.
And then so Dustin was joking with me because I said, well, I felt kind of bad. I couldn't drive him home, but I had to go home to do the post-game hit with Tom. And Dustin's like, you just turned him loose, in the neighborhood around the arena. I said, well, I put him out on 104th Ave, not 106th. So, but yeah, I don't think he got home till some like 1. And then when do they come into work? Like 4:30?
Yeah, I think he's usually here by 5.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Jasmine went to a couple of games, and Trev went. It is because as I've said, and I obviously I appreciate what I do, and I feel very lucky, and I love doing it. But going to an Oilers game and sitting in on media level is part of the routine for me. So I don't really get excited about it. I hope that doesn't sound like, but you know what I mean? It's part of what I do. Of course, I like covering the team and I like my job, but I don't sit there thinking like, oh my God, I'm in the press box. So it's kind of cool to get that first timer energy from, I think he might've gone to a game 1 or 2 years ago, but it was neat. I like Treff.
Oh, of
Well, I
course.
like everybody, actually. But I think, and Iwanek was at that game, too. So, you know.
Nobody's sniffing at this mystery athlete.
How could that be?
Want to
not
go
that
with the
hard.
clues?
Germany, 1993, Rocky. I guess I could give a further clue. Rocky does not relate to the movie. Germany, 1993, Rocky. Now, did people guess after the first two clues the athlete that I thought they might guess?
Some.
Okay. So that was obviously wrong. People know that by now. Okay, so Rocky is not the boxer. That'll be the clue. Or Rocky doesn't relate to the boxer.
I still...
Do you know who this person is?
Yeah.
Well, that's a clue in itself. Have you heard of this person? Do you remember this person?
Yes. Oh,
see, by saying remember, I just gave it. That's why I shouldn't talk. I'm just puking out clues, everybody. How easy am I making this for everybody? I'm like a clue machine. I'm a clue fountain.
Nobody's even close.
What do you mean by even close, though?
Like they're not thinking the way you are or you did.
Well, that's good, I guess. Okay, do you want me to give the fourth clue right now?
I think so.
Chief Andy says, why does LeBron only eat boneless buffalo wings? Because he has a tendency to choke.
Does LeBron have a tendency to choke?
How many championships
I guess
has he won?
been through a few championships and...
Maple Syrup Skidmark, that is quite the handle, says, Landeskog, captain of the Avs, is doing a conditioning stint, but yet Kane isn't. Wouldn't that piss off your teammates that you're not willing to be at your absolute... But okay, Evander Kane is not refusing a conditioning stint. And I think Knoblauch was asked about today, and he just said, well, we don't know what's going to happen with that. So that's not a comparable situation, Kane and Landeskog right now.
But Kane's been skating with the team.
Yes, and Landeskog hasn't played in almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if Kane is going to do, but what I'm reading from you, Maple Syrup, is that you're accusing Evander Kane of refusing a conditioning stint, which is not accurate. Not accurate by any means. That's how I understood that. So we'll see. Do you want me to give the fourth clue?
I think you
before we
have
get to Tom. All right, the fourth clue is 2 on Rudy, and it is Rudy, Hrudey. 2 on Rudy. So the clues are Germany, 1993, Rocky, and 2 on Rudy. You must text your guesses to 780-218-9999. Maximum 3 guesses per person. For sure, somebody has to get it now. We're not going to have to need the 5th and final clue, are we? With the ones that obvious? Got a limerick here from RC in Ladner. A bucket list item, attend the Masters of Augusta. If I ever get the chance, you can bet it's a musta. With my wardrobe on fleek, might sneak a leak in the creek, but that dream might be just too robusta.
Very good.
That's pretty well done. Pretty well. I had to look up what fleek was. Apparently, it is a marketplace for... is it an online marketplace for clothing? I think.
A what? What?
Oh, no. On fleek means very attractive.
Fleek is like a... Yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
It's like your fit is good.
Where does that come from? I've never heard of that.
I've heard
So
it.
if you say someone's looking fleek, it means they look good?
On fleek.
You're on fleek.
Your fit is on fleek.
Oh, I have never heard of that. So it's like it's just you look hot, basically.
I don't know if I would go that far. I would just say you got a good fleek. You got a good fit. Your outfit looks good.
That one doesn't work. You got a good fleek. I don't think that one works.
Being hot is totally separate of your fleek, isn't it?
You're on fleek. You're just on point. You're looking sharp.
On fuego?
Sure. Yeah, I guess that works.
There you go.
Oilers tonight. Eckholm is back. Stuart Skinner will dress, but he will be the backup goaltender. Pickard's going to start. No Nugent Hopkins. No Drysdale. No Wallman. But Wallman's going to play before the end of the regular season. Drysdale should as well. Trent Frederic Not expected to return in the regular season. Probably game 1 or 2 of the postseason is what we got from Kris Knoblauch today. Did I miss anybody? So many guys are out. I think that was the gist of it. Actually, he wasn't specifically asked about Nuge today, but I guess we can assume he's still under the weather.
Mikey says on the River Cree inbox, didn't Kane and his wife just have a baby with some difficulties as well? Come on, Texter, give a guy a break in life.
Fair enough. All right, 780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. You can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Jay at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. If you're in the Nasty Chat, you can chat with us and with each other. And if you're in there on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Let's get a quick rally going here to top 130. Should be able to do that if everybody stops being a pleasure delayer and gets that done. Tom Gazola will check in from Ice District when we get back.
The Oilers need a Flames loss or a point against the Sharks tonight to clinch a playoff spot. Edmonton, however, will not have Leon Drysdale, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, or Jake Wallman for the contest. But Mattias Ekholm and Stuart Skinner both returned. Skinner backing up Calvin Pickard. Tom Gazola goes live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show to tee up the action right here on EST. You can tune into that just an hour before puck drop at 6:30. 3 games underway. Eric Halla has the Devils up 1-0 over the Penguins. Anthony Cirelli, with his 27th of the season, has Tampa Bay leading 1-0. And the Canadians are hoping to find a regulation win over the Sens. Montreal trailing 1-0 off the stick of Shane Pinto. All of those games are about midway through the first period. And with the Jays-Orioles opener postponed due to weather conditions, there's 4 games live right now. Reds up 3-0 on the Pirates in the top of the 3rd inning, and the Braves hold the Rays 1-0 early in the game. Basketball sees 15 games. Raptors challenge the Mavericks. Right now, Hawks are up 3-point over the 76ers. Pacers are down 14-8, and the Bucks trail 6-4 to the Pistons early in the contest. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds. Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you'll need. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park, or call them at 780-467-5014. Tom Gazola, the host of the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, joins us next here on the Reid Wilkins Show.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
I don't want to be taken as disrespectful.
Be careful.
I think the Oilers might have the easiest way to get to the conference final. I think it'll be more difficult for the Jets to have to go through whoever wins the Colorado-Dallas series. Sorry, Vegas. Sorry, the Kings, but Edmonton has beat you.
112 points right now to 95. And you're right, the Pacific, a path could be paved there.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by Southport Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Strike up some fun at the Banquet Bar. Bowling, drinks, and a great time with friends, where the good times roll. Whether you're here to bowl or just hang out, the Banquet Bar is your go-to spot. Get real, play hard at the Banquet.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman B. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
Yes, Jason Milne on the lead vocals as we are coming to you from the Banquet Studio. Strike up some fun at the Banquet Bar, bowling, drinks, and a great time with friends. Get real, play hard at the Banquet. Thanks to the Banquet for being on board as our studio sponsor. Keep hitting the thumbs up if you are in on YouTube, about a dozen away from Word of the Day territory, so please don't delay. Get in there and click.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
We're still looking to give away the Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game $25 gift card. Kind of surprised no one has it yet. The clues are Germany, 1993, Rocky, and 2 on Rudy. As I've said, Rocky does not relate to boxing, and Rocky is not the person's name. So some other connection. Germany, 1993, Rocky, and 2 on Rudy. One more guess that hopefully will give it away, though I'm surprised it's not already given away by those. He's the host of the Oil Stream here on Edmonton Sports Talk. He'll be on at 6:30 for the GCL Diesel pregame show. He's a friend of mine. He's a friend of Jason Milne's. It's the wonderful Tom Gazola. Hello, Tom.
You're muted, Tom.
Tom, you appear to be muted. We can't hear you, my love.
Dungeons and Dragons earlier today. I'm sorry. Big fan of the show. Thanks for having me on. Sorry about that. My bad. My discretion. I should be better now. I have no idea who the mystery athlete is.
Well, you're not the
That's
only
a tough one.
It's a real
really
stumper today.
Okay, let me ask you this, Jay. Has anybody guessed a member of that team that you know of?
Not that I know of.
Wow. Okay. Interesting, eh, Tom? Very interesting.
Yes, I'm stumped. I'm stumped, boys.
Well, yeah, I think you've heard of this person, and it'll all make sense once we reveal it. Thanks for hopping on today, buddy. Clinchmas, as the kids call it.
Yep.
Third time though this week, but I think certainly it's going to happen tonight. What did you make of some of the comments Knoblauch made or didn't make about some of the injured or no? To be fair, he wasn't even asked about Nugent Hopkins, I don't think. But what did you make of some of his remarks today?
The one that stood out to me was the one about the goaltending. Now, is he kind of already throwing up smoke screens and playing the game within the game with the LA Kings going into the start of the playoffs? He said that the goalie that's going to give them the best chance to win will play in the postseason. And lately, obviously, with the injury to Skinner, but the way Calvin Pickard has played, you go, oh, really? Okay, well, that would kind of be a hint or a little tease that maybe it is going to be Pickard. I think it's ultimately going to be Stu Skinner in game one, but like I said to Dusty on the Oil Stream earlier today, I think that the leash is going to be short for each guy. I think that's where the scenario has changed from last year, is now there's a lot more faith in what Calvin Pickard can give you. And, maybe some of the confidence in Stu Skinner has been shaken. So that was the one thing that stood out to me the most. The other things that I was like, okay, this is interesting, is how open he was about, trying to provide timelines for the guys. So Wallman nicked up, not an illness. Like we said he was hurt, but there was others saying he was sick, but we know that wasn't the case. So he confirmed the injury. And then, having Mattias Ekholm back, that's good. Basically ruling out Drysdale for tonight. Maybe we see Drysdale by the weekend or Monday with these back-to-backs. Man, there was a laundry list. He talked about Kane, wouldn't go and touch on him, maybe getting a conditioning stint. Who else did he talk about?
Frederick will play
today?
game 1 or game 2.
Game 1 or game
Yes.
2. And we're just sitting there and I'm like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? So, I mean, and then I'll add this too, like in the room, the demeanor feels like it did last year going into the postseason, the year prior, and even a little bit 3 years ago, where these guys are getting into business mode and they're kind of showing that on the ice, which I think is a good sign. So maybe not necessarily flipping the switch, but slowly cranking on the lever to get them into playoff mode while guys return from injury.
Tommy, I want to keep it there where you were around this team as they prepared and entered the Stanley Cup playoffs last year. And as compared to this year, I mean, the general sentiment is that this is a team that's been there. They were there last year. They went all the way. They went as far as you possibly can without achieving the goal. And the perception is that lessons were learned and that they're going to take a different, I guess, approach to this year's playoffs. You're seeing that in the locker room. You see a different group from last year, although there's several different players, but the approach, the mentality, where the Oilers are at right now, it is different than what you experienced last year at this time?
I'd say it's the same, Jay. Like, you can tell that they're buckling down and starting to focus on actually having to have their butts in gear every single night, because, as much as they say throughout the season that they have to be ready to go and they can't take anyone lightly, 6 hours later on the ice, they're taking their opponents lightly and losing to, Anaheim 3 times this season. So that has to go away in the postseason. And I think these guys get that. I think when they do get into the playoffs, they pump up their game and they dial it in. And I think we're witnessing them get into that kind of mindset and demeanor, which is similar to what they were like the last year at this time and the year prior. And even the year prior when they, went on, longer runs, let's call them, in the postseason. I feel like it's turning into one of those type of scenarios again. That's my sense around the room. I give them the benefit of the doubt. I think they've earned that with what they've done. It hasn't been an ideal season this year, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And then I'll also add to the fact that this group the last few years have put together really nice playoff runs.
Yeah, it's interesting, Tom. Like, that is the advantage of having a veteran team. I mean, I don't think, there's been frustration, but I don't know if it's ever been a panicky team or even when they've maybe been doubted from the outside, that has been doubted that they could play better or will clean up, some of the bad stretches that they've had. So hopefully it's taken care of tonight against San Jose, a team they should beat the large majority of the time that they go and get that point and don't have to wait for Minnesota or Calgary or games further down the road. The Sharks, like I said, do have some. We had Randy Hahn on the show yesterday. Their play-by-play guy, former CFRN broadcaster and Edmonton Drillers play-by-play voice. It was awesome to catch up with him. He spoke, and I thought this was, I'll just kind of leave this open-ended for you, Tom, because you and I covered some Decade of Darkness years where, like, it was a death march. Like, it just was awful to be around the team. Like, it didn't look like they were having any fun. And he said, yes, it's last place again, but he said this year is a way more energetic and pride-filled group for the Sharks than the team that they had last year.
Interesting. And like, Randy's at the point now where he's not going to BS you. Actually, I like that you brought up Randy, because I had a great chat with him today. He told some wicked stories. And also, he's going to be doing NHL on TNT for the playoffs. He gets the same treatment, boys, really quickly, that Shaq, Charles, and all those guys get. They limo service from the house to the airport. At the hotel, they get a suite, not just a regular room. Like TNT, he's like, man, they take good care of us. And then he told some stories about his days back at CFRN when Glenn Sather got so mad at him in 1982 when he broke the news that Wayne Gretzky won his first Hart Trophy. He got somehow a contact at the NHL, hooked him up with all the award winners. And he went to air that night on CTV or CFRN, which it was called at the time. The call numbers are still CFRN. And he called Wayne and said, hey, I know you won the Hart Trophy. I was given a list. Would you come in for a live interview? And Wayne's like, let me get back to you. Wayne agreed to it, but Wayne showed up late with Mark Messier. Randy gets him in. They do this interview for like 4 or 5 minutes. And then he said that he got, like, the phones were going crazy. And one of the calls was Glenn Sather. And Sather's like, who the hell do you think you are? Where do you get this BS? All of that is a bunch of crap. And then the league called him the next day and said the same thing, because obviously it hit the wire and it and it went all over the place. And so Randy was like, for 2 weeks, I was like crapping my pants because what if I ended up being wrong about the winners? And sure enough, they had teletype back in the day instead of like an internet or whatever. And he was reading it as it was getting printed out. And it's like, he's like, Hart Trophy, Wayne Gretzky, Norris Trophy, Randy Carlyle. So all of his list and what he had, revealed was right. And he's like, it was such a huge sigh of relief. And then he goes, to this day, Glenn Sather still gives me the side eye and won't even talk to me. And I'm like, that is amazing. And that sounds like slats. Now, that's how awesome Randy
That's
Randy
a great
Hahn
story.
is. Yeah. The mood and the sense of optimism that Randy was talking about, I think is a good sign. And maybe it shows a little bit of belief in what Mike Greer's doing. And that's important because there were times during the decade of darkness being with the team on the plane, at the hotels. Sometimes you hang out with them because you get to know a bunch of the guys. And you could just tell, like, they didn't care. They knew the next year would be just as bad. They didn't have faith in management. They knew that they'd probably have a new coach the next year. And until about 2013, 2014, when Nurse and Drysdale were drafted, and then obviously they won the lottery, that's when you started to sense a little bit of that positive energy. And then lo and behold, they get McDavid. Drysdale becomes one of the best players in the world, and they've gone to a couple conference finals, a Stanley Cup final, and now they're a perennial contender. So that is encouraging. It's still going to take time for San Jose, but just that change in attitude goes a long way, because if you don't have something to play for or something to chase, that carrot dangling, you get the gloom and doom and the dark clouds following you around. And if that has lifted around the Sharks, that's a good sign.
All right. Tom, thanks for doing this. It's going to be a fun one tonight. Also, fan appreciation night at Rogers Place for the people that are going. Jay read out some of the stuff they're going to be giving away. They have some pretty good prizes. So you're doing the GCL Diesel pregame show at 6:30. You're on after the game. And do you have room for me in your house? I've
got room for you. I've got a beer for you. Whatever you want, buddy. I'm here for you. Yeah.
Service.
You've got all the instructions to get in.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Hey,
and can I say?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, you go.
Oh.
You go.
All right. I'm the most, to me, the best part of fan appreciation night has to be the autograph session with my old teammate, Mark Frederick, and our current teammate, Joaquin Gage, on the main concourse. Go say hello to the guys. Tell them I sent you.
That's incredible. Okay.
Bet you Joaquin's going to be wearing that nice leather jacket of his.
Damn right he's going to be wearing that leather jacket.
He's got a really fancy leather jacket. I'm jealous of it.
It's nice. Don't touch it. He gets mad.
Tom, before we let you go, forgive me. The off-topic topic today for William Huff was, what rule addition or change would you make to the game of golf?
Oh.
Because I know you're an avid golfer. You're a good golfer. Mine was when you tee off, you smoke it down the center, 250 out, you're looking good, and then you come up on the ball, and it's in somebody else's old divot. The ability to remove it from that divot and not have to hit out of that.
That's a good one.
What say you?
That's a really good one. I like that one. What rules piss me off in golf? Oh, you know what? Here's one. And most people are pretty good. Like the hackers like us generally are pretty good. But I like a time limit. I don't have any patience for people that take way too much time. When they're lining up a putt, especially. Hurry the F up. Let's go. There's people behind us. So I would like a decent pace. And if you don't follow it, I know there's marshals on the course and stuff, but I just hate that obnoxious. Some people are like, I need to go behind the ball. I need to go in front of it. I got to look at it from this.
Just move on.
You're not Bryson DeChambeau, who's annoying enough as is.
Yeah.
Although he's come around a bit, but something to that effect. Jay, I think you got a good one though. The divot thing is a pain in the ass. And fix your divots. Don't be an a-hole.
Yeah, good point. All right, Tom, I'll see you at the rink tonight. Have a good pregame show.
Okay, I love both of you guys very, very much. And I like Zach a lot.
There we go. We love Tom. Tom Gazola from the Oil Stream here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. That's an incredible story about Randy Hahn. So that would have been in the spring of 1980. And where you could call a player directly and say, hey, come to the station. If you did that nowadays, they might come, but they probably wouldn't. And you might get your credentials taken away. But if people are listening and saying, well, of course Gretzky won the Hart Trophy. In 1980, that was not a sure thing. Marcel Dion and Wayne Gretzky tied for the scoring lead with 137 points. Dion got the Art Ross because he had more goals, 53-51. He was 28. Gretzky was 19. Gretzky won the Hart Trophy with 38% of the vote, and Dion had 30. So, I mean, it wasn't for sure that Gretzky was going to win. Gretzky also won the Lady Byng with 26.7% of the vote, and Dion had 24.5%. So it was pretty close between those two guys, but that was quite the scoop for Randy Hahn. I did not know that story. You know who won the Calder Trophy that year? A 19-year-old Boston Bruins defenseman.
No.
Ray Bourque, if people don't know. Larry Robinson won the Norris. Gainey won the Selke. And I think the Vezina wasn't voting that year. It was still based on stats. So that's a cool story. Great to have Tom on. All right, keep giving us the thumbs up on YouTube. Let's push into Word of the Day territory. We just need 10 more thumbs to get there. Do we have a Word of the Day, or not a Word of the Day? Do we have a Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Day winner?
No. Should I start saying who it's not? Or do you want to give the final clue? Give it before the break.
And I'm going to give a real clear, I'm going to make the final clue longer than I originally did. Okay? The final clue is Montreal Canadiens. And that's not a trick. It's the franchise that we commonly refer to as the Montreal Canadiens. So the clues are Germany, 1993, Rocky, 2 on Rudy, and Montreal Canadiens. Text into Jay, River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. Hopefully we have a winner by the time we get back. We'll do a word or hopefully words of the day and a final look ahead to the Oilers and the Sharks.
The Oilers need just 1 point, or Flames lost tonight to the Wild to clinch a playoff spot. Calvin Pickard starts for Edmonton against the Sharks. Stuart Skinner is a backup during Mattias Ekholm's return to action. And no Leon Drysdale, Jake Wallman, or Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for the Oilers tonight. Tom Gazola gets you set for the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST. You can tune into that at 6:30. And right now there's 3 games underway. Andre Palat has the most recent goal for New Jersey Devils, up 2-0 over the Pens. Elsewhere, Dylan Cousins extends Ottawa's lead to 2-0 over Montreal, while Detroit trails 1-0 to Tampa Bay, having all of those games nearing the end of 20 minutes. On the court, Atlanta is up 3 points over Philly. The Pacers hold the Magic 23-22, and the Pistons hold the Bucks 36-32, having all of those games entering the second quarter. And the Jays-Orioles game was postponed due to weather conditions. That one was pushed back for July 29th. That'll book a doubleheader for Baltimore and Toronto. 5 games are live right now. Reds control the Pirates 5-0 in the top of the 4th inning, while the Royals are down 3 runs against the Guardians in the top of the 5th. It's the final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show, which brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Looking
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Must you click? Click. Thumb. Must you click? Thumb, thumb, thumb.
There it is. Yeah, give us a few more clicks in the on the YouTube stream before we sign off at 6 o'clock. Mattias Ekholm will return to action for the Oilers tonight. Here's head coach Kris Knoblauch.
Well, a guy that can eat up minutes playing against other teams' top lines, but also a guy that's our forwards, especially our skilled forwards, like to be on the ice with because he can transport the puck really nice. So, the role that Eki has it's immense. Like, he does so much for our team, and also second unit power play, and just use them all situations. But I think the biggest one would be just being able to transport that puck and playing against other teams' top lines because he is a good defender.
Leon Drysdale will not play tonight.
Yeah, I feel all right. Obviously not good enough yet to, get into games. And this time of year, I want to be taking the right steps and, feeling as good to 100% as I can. So, it's improving slowly, but hopefully it won't be that much longer.
And Darnell Nurse on the team playing through a lot of injuries lately.
I mean, it's all mindset. I think, obviously, in the ideal picture-perfect world, your team's healthy for full 82 games and everyone gets to play together and feel good and build chemistry. But that's not the situation we're in. We have guys banged up and working their way back into the lineup. And it's just all mindset. I think us as a group, it puts a little bit more importance on the meetings and being, being able to take reps in practice together and make sure when game one hits, we're firing on all cylinders.
All right. By the way, once a week, we feature the Marmot Basin Ski Report. Ski for half price every day with the Marmot Escape Card, only $99 at skimarmot.com. 4 lift tickets for the family for only $329. Also at skimarmot.com. All these deals for families and otherwise only available online. Usually Brian Rode checks in, but he's traveling this week, so we'll get him on. They're sticking around till May for the Marmot Basin Ski Report?
The end of April.
End of April? They still got skiing conditions going on there, so pretty cool. All right, the Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game. The $25 gift card will go to who, Jay?
Collingwood Rob.
The clues were Germany. This player played in the German Elite League in the 97-98 season. 1993, he's a 1993 Stanley Cup champion with the Montreal Canadiens. That team was clue number 5. Rocky was another clue. He is the cousin of former Hamilton Tiger Cat Rocky DiPietro. And another clue was 2 on Rudy. This person scored 2 goals on LA Kings goaltender Kelly Rudy in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final. In that game, the Canadians clinched the series and lifted the cup. Of course, it's Paul DiPietro.
Of course,
it's Paul DiPietro.
Well done, Collingwood Rob.
Is this the most obscure mystery athlete we've ever had?
It was just nobody was even really sniffing till that last clue.
I mean, people struggled with Betty Stanhope Cole, who is a famous Edmontonian, famous golfer.
Yeah, that one would be up there.
Kyle Korver, though somebody got that. David Viborni, but that was the one somebody got on the first guess. Paul DiPietro. How did I come up with that? I'm not even sure. Did anybody guess Bernard Longer?
Lots at the start.
Why? Oh, the first two clues were Germany and 1993, one of the years he won the Masters. But no, sometimes, guess early for sure, but don't waste all your guesses because it may not be the obvious one right out of the gate. Then again, maybe someday it will be. How do you know?
There was quite a few Tobias Reeder guesses early on.
Was he born in, how old is he? He wasn't born in 93, was he? How old would he be now?
Yeah, he was born in 93.
Was born in 93. Okay. I never even thought of that. Scored 0 goals as an Edmonton Oiler.
There you go.
And was property of the team twice. So the first time he was a member of the franchise, he didn't play any games. Scored two shorthanded goals on the same penalty kill for the Coyotes at Rexall Place. I don't know if it was the last year of the building or the second last year of the building.
I brought in evidence. Yesterday we talked about the shrinkflation of nibs.
Right.
Which I hold near and dear to my heart. I want to get your immediate reaction. And Koob, I brought one in for you as well, just to get your thoughts on.
Are we eating these?
Well, you can hold it.
I'm going to eat it if I'm holding it. I'm not going to put it back in the bag.
Yeah, that's fair. Koob. You don't want to have a nib?
Have you ever had a nib in your life?
Yes. Right here, I don't know why I'm yelling. Yes, I love nibs, but
these are way smaller than before, folks. And I know you can't see it. You're gonna have they're half the size.
I don't know about that.
As Reid just houses.
I like nibs.
Who doesn't like nibs?
I don't know. Probably somebody.
Koob, that's I don't know what you have against nibs.
He's working. He's probably trying to eat healthy.
Oh,
why we have a nib at 5:50?
Is there a bad time to have a nib? Like, let's be serious here.
It's funny. Maybe they're a little. I never thought about it. Maybe they're a little thinner than they used to be. But hey,
and they're shorter.
They've been tariffed.
Oh, clearly.
Is there a tariff on nibs? I don't even know.
There must be.
Or are nibs made in Canada? There's probably a nib factory in Canada. We should get a tour of a nib factory. Actually, we would probably never want to eat a nib again.
You wouldn't.
Oh, those are the ingredients. Oh,
where's the strawberries?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, sorry. I wanted to do a tour of the nib factory, not a plastic factory. Oh, this is the nib factory. Oh, okay.
We make the packaging and the product in the same spot.
Yes. Mr. Gerbic says, what flavor of nibs? This is the standard.
I don't know.
Is this
red?
nibs? Whatever nibs are.
Whatever flavor red is.
Yeah, they don't have different flavors of nibs, do they? They just have nibs, I thought.
Well, I know they have different flavors of Twizzlers.
Right.
I was not aware they have different flavors of nibs.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I just thought there were nibs. All right, 780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Give us a few more thumbs up before we sign off on YouTube. Make us feel good and build that algorithm for the show. But we are going to we'll do at least one word of the day, and then we see how we feel.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
You put the word on YouTube.
On Twitter, yeah. You can't see it.
Well, I'm sorry I have a Twitter feed. I see stuff when you add me.
Well, now you know the spelling.
I know how to spell that word. Kitsch.
No, I'm going to backup word now.
Kitsch means sort of like...
the word of the day
almost
is kitsch.
Like
hang on.
Kitsch is...
Slow your roll.
Kitsch is sort of like...
The word of the day is kitsch. Reid, could you please spell it?
Kitsch. Why would you put it where I can see it?
I didn't think you'd be...
Well, what? You think I don't look at my computer?
I don't know what you look
I
at
have
on
open. Actually, the amount of tabs I have open would reduce the likelihood of me seeing the word of the day.
That's what I thought.
Kitsch sort of means like almost intentionally cheesy. Like I'm going to do something as like I'll I'll dress as a 1950s sports broadcaster as kitsch.
Kitsch refers to something that appeals to popular or lowbrow taste and is often cheap or tacky. I'll give you another one then, because that was not fair.
Not fair to who?
Our listeners.
Okay.
Niblick.
Oh, Niblick. Speaking of nibs. Niblick. And I believe a niblick is a small amount of something. Usually food. Darn it.
Maybe you confused that with niblet.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, niblick is an old-fashioned kind of heavy golf club. The modern name for a niblick is a 9-iron.
Yeah, I confuse it with niblet. Now, I have it says someone has mentioned me on Twitter. Do I look, or is that another word?
No, we're done.
Okay. Oh, Tom Gazola liked a post. Okay, do you have another word of the day since...
No, we're good. Kitchen niblick.
So I basically got...
Note to self, don't post it on Twitter. I
guess I've never looked before at this exact time. It's Jay. Well, it's a good thing it's Friday. Jay just ripped his microphone stand out of its holder, out of its base.
I'm throwing off.
If people not on YouTube heard that loud clang, it's just Jay destroying elements of our broadcasting equipment. All right. That was fun, buddy. We got the Oilers and the San Jose Sharks at 7:30 at Rogers Place. So a brief break in the stream here. Tom Gazola takes over at 6:30 for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, and then he'll be on after the game as well for the postgame show. I'm going to join him for that as I'm going to head to the arena here very, very soon. Always a pleasure to deliver the show on behalf of Zachary Kubusch and the glue guy Jason Milne. I'm Reid. Have a great weekend.